Well, hello everybody. Welcome in. Today, we're going to be doing as much of this game as I can do before I get fucking incredibly tired and pass the fuck out. So we have the rest of our stream goals still up. We're only about 11 away from hitting our goal of Poppy's Playtime playthrough, which, yeah, that's its own thing. But for now, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get right into this. We should be just about finished up with this chapter, so. And it should be the end of the first game, and I have a second game after that. So let's see where this kind of twists and turns await us now. Hopefully I'm sober, or not sober, awake enough to do these fucking voices. At least make an attempt to, anyway. I left the Damask 2 investigation to Franziska and returned to Babel. I suppose my first order of business should be to look into Babel's statue. Mr. Edgeworth! It's okay, what's the situation? Oh, it's great! Investigating is so much fun! In other words, they've made absolutely no progress. We weren't goofing off, honest, sir! We've been investigating our hearts out. Very well then, would you care to give me an update on your investigation? Oh, we've had a really fun time, sir. I knew it. Zero progress. In any case, Detective Gumshoe. Yes, sir? You have permission to enter the Alabastian Embassy, is that correct? Yep. As a local detective, I'm helping out with the investigations on both sides, sir. Good. In that case, I can leave these pieces of evidence with you. They belong to the old lady under the Pink Princess's mask. The Pink Princess? What kind of lady was playing her, sir? The kind that was also playing the role of the Pink Badger yesterday. Understood, sir. If I happen to run into her, I'll give them back to her. And if I don't, then I guess I'll unload them somewhere. He doesn't seem at all that enthused to find her, but I can't blame him. Now then, I don't believe I'll be needing this anymore either. What? Are you really going to throw that autograph away? Yes, because that Steel Samurai was a fake. I swished up and disposed of. What? What did you mean by fake? Now then, I believe it's time for a little housekeeping. Evidence has been removed, remaining evidence has been rearranged. Let's see what I have left. I have the Babel statue, Death, Alabastian knife, Yakurasaki, Babel's key knife. That samurai spear is apparently important somehow. Samurai dogs. Okay, so all this stuff is still relevant somehow. Alright. Mr. Edgeworth. You look like you're enjoying yourself, Detective. Well, I don't have much else that I enjoy as much as a good investigation, sir. So, what did you find out? Ah, well... I take it he has found nothing of any particular use, as usual. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth. I got something really interesting from Ambassador Paleno. Oh, and what is this something interesting? This, sir. Wow, that's so pretty. I'm jealous. That's a real treasure there. Why does the flame burn green, Detective? So apparently, if you burn the special white crystal oil that they only make in Babel, it burns this green color, sir. Interesting. So it's a special property of the oil. Suppose this is a ploy to force people to visit Babel should the oil run out. Hey, Gummy, what about these silhouettes? They stuck some cutouts on the outside of the lanterns so they project images. Oh, silhouettes, huh? They are rather pretty, aren't they? Wait, what am I doing? I'm supposed to be asking for an update on the investigation. Hey, what's wrong, sir? Something I want to investigate for me. Do you think you can do that much? Uh-huh. You got it, sir. Hey, that's not fair. Why is Gummy getting to do all the fun stuff? Oh, well, that's because I'm Mr. Edgeworth's partner. No, I can't believe you took advantage of the confusion and stole my role as assistant. I expect the two of you to get along and work together like professionals on this. Let's talk to Mr. Ah, so you're back. How are you, Mr. Edgeworth? You must be tired. Here, with these, you can eat wherever you'd like. These are discount tickets for our cafeteria. They open tomorrow at 10 in the morning. I appreciate the concern. However, these coupons do nothing for me right now. This open-air stage, what function does it serve exactly? Well, normally we use it for a variety of events. It's all to attract the extra bit of attention to Babel. I heard that tonight over in the Alabastian Rose Garden, Ambassador Out was to give a speech. Do you know what? Manny told me that I really should give a speech too. Mr. Cochin told you that? Yes, he did. Which is why I thought I should give a speech of my own. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to. Because of the fire the Adagarasu started? Exactly. Master Polino, I'd like to ask you a little more about the Primado statue. Oh, I see. Well, let me ask you this. Do you know that Alabast and Babel used to be in one country called Cadopia? Yes, I know that much about your history. Well, the Primado statue belonged to the founders of Cadopia. At least that's how the story goes. It was bequeathed onto the king of Cadopia as a symbol of our country's wealth. It was meant as a symbol of sovereignty and the right to rule, I take it. Yes, that's right, which is why both countries are so adamant about their claim. We hold the real statue, therefore, we hold the right to rule, is the reasoning. It's pretty petty when you think about it, though, I suppose. But if Alabast and Babel were to re-establish relations, shouldn't that put an end to the squabbling over the statue? I have no reason to believe so. The Primado statue is even more important now as a key to diplomacy. If Master Polino knows about what has happened, a very important key to diplomacy. So should I show him this key and see what he has to say about it? Master Polino, there's just one more thing I'd like to ask you about. Yes? Oh, and don't worry, you can ask me more than just one thing. How about 2 or 3? In exchange, I expect you'll be coming to Babel, yes? Thank you, but just the one thing is all I require. Manny Cochin, I'd like to ask you about this man. Who was your secretary? Sure, I'll tell you what I know. Thank you for your cooperation, Ambassador. He was, well, if I had to put it in one word, he was an able man. If there was ever anything I needed as an ambassador, he was able to get it done for me. To think that a man like that I handed a smuggling ring right under my nose, going completely unnoticed. Actually, I suppose, because he was an able man, I was unable to detect his dirty dealings. Sounds like Mr. Cochin had a very sharp mind. Recently, Manny had been really busy. Since I became the Babelese representative at the country's Unification Council, he's been working tirelessly to cover my work for me. I'm sorry, but what is this Country Unification Council? Oh, well, you see, had tonight's events proceeded without a hitch, our two countries were to reunify and become one again. But I guess with how things turned out, that dream won't be realized anytime soon. I suppose not. Ambassador Polino, if you could please take a look at this for me. The Primado statue sitting in Alabasta right now actually belongs to Babel. So it would appear. I received a call from Miss Von Karma about this earlier. And you understand why I wish to inspect Babel's Primado statue immediately. Because the statue is currently in your country possession. Yes, well, I've already inspected it myself. But it is definitely Alabasta's statue. I know because it's the real statue. And you're saying that Babel's was a replica? I'm embarrassed to say it's true, even though I knew that someday it would be exposed. I received my orders from the leaders of Babel. And I was to negotiate with Ambassador Alba at this event. I was to negotiate with him and fix the results of the evaluation tonight. To say that we could not determine which statue was the real one.
Hold it!
Why are you telling me this? Well, because you already figured it out. Our statue is just a hollow gold shell. Even if Babel were to lose face, the unification of the country is what's important. I'm right in thinking that, aren't I? I'm not making a mistake, right? If you don't know yourself, then I won't pretend to know either. I know, I never thought of being betrayed by my own secretary. The real symbol of wealth would be given to me. Isn't it simply ironic? Hey, where are you going? Are you headed back to Alabast? Yes, but before I do, I suppose I should give you a summary of what's happened. Oh, I see. So there's been a murder in both countries using an object from the other country. That's the gist of it. Babel is just as strict as Alabast in their inspection of the people and things that enter their country. Meaning that somehow both murder weapons are smuggled into the two countries. It's the only logical conclusion that can be withdrawn. Perhaps the key to the weapon smuggling is the person who traversed both countries. You mean the fake Yatagarasu? In one way or another, the Yatagarasu is connected. Of this, I am sure. Now then, where was the Yatagarasu first spotted? I believe it was the Rose Garden on the Alabasta side of the embassy. The garden is just on the other side of this boundary, where the Ambassador Alba was to give a speech tonight. At least that's what I heard from the Yatagarasu had appeared. In that case, I believe it's vital that I investigate the Rose Garden post-haste. Wait, before you go! Take a look at this, Mr. Edgeworth. What is it? My guess is that it's a guitar pick. I picked it up just now over there. Do you think it'll be of any use? There's a little water on it, but how did the water get on it? It doesn't look like there's anything that could get wet from around here. I was thinking, they have concerts like at this open stage from time to time, right? Alright, I'll find its owner later. Oh yeah, there's one more thing. Mr. Edgeworth, would you be willing to hold on to this? What is this? It's misused perfume. It's the bottle that woman left behind and that I found 7 years ago. I thought that one day it'd be of some use in tracking her down. So I kept it safe all this time. Thank you. I'd be honored to hold on to this for you. Alright, so I need to go to the Rose Garden. I think I'll be returned to the investigation in Alabast now, but... I know. I'll go back to Babel and do some more investigating there. I see you're back, Miles. And Miles Edgeworth. Oh, it was her. I thought it was him. How are things in Babel? Although I can't really expect much from Scruffy and that girl. The investigation into Manny Coachen's death hasn't really progressed any. However, the investigation into the Yatagarasu has. Ah yes, the Yatagarasu. Even now I find it hard to believe. A person who can freely traverse between the two countries at will? Preposterous. Oh, that's what I came here to investigate. Either this is where the witness claims to have seen the Yatagarasu. That is correct. Ambassador Alba was to give a speech tonight here in Alabast. And that's when the Yatagarasu appeared. The shadow of the mysterious thief appeared and just as suddenly is vanished. After that, there was a fire at the Babel's embassy, and the Yatagarasu started. For a Thai crow, being 1 year older means that Tinder is 1 year stinkier. That's how it works, right? I mean, yeah, that's fair. Now, a single feather from the Yatagarasu shows some of my doings. There are roses scattered on the surface of the water, creating a pleasant fragrance. It's not just for aesthetics. The pool is also used in putting out fires. I see. Oh. The pool stopped filling itself automatically. The fountain spouts are set to stay open until the pool's water reaches a certain level. And this water is used to put out fires. I suppose it must be filled to its normal level. It suggests that the pool was recently used somehow in this embassy. I said I'll take some notes about it, just in case. Larry, get out of the pool! How dare you surprise me like that? I'm sorry. Hey, Edgy, thanks for what you did back there. Your gratitude alone is enough. More importantly, Larry, this pool is not for your personal enjoyment. Thanks, Jay. I know that. Do you really think that I'm the type to just jump into a pool and swim around for fun?
Objection!
Alright then. Did you, by chance, fall into the pool? Nice guess, but no dice. So you know my son, right, Edgy? Your son? I guess I kind of lost sight of him when I shook hands with the ambassador. I'm pretty sure he was around here when I last saw him. You wait, Basil. How could you be so flippant at a time like this? What are you going to do if your son fell into the pool? How old is this child of yours, anyway? Oh, how old is he again?
Hold it!
Larry, this is the first I've heard of a son. Who exactly is the mother? The mother? Oh, that chick. The Pink Princess. The Pink Princess?
Hold it!
Miss Von Karma. I was a bit confused with this man's words for a bit there. However, I believe that he was looking for the doll of the Iron Infant. Yep, because I'm the Steel Samurai through and through, heart and soul. And the Iron Infant is my cute little son. You have given a whole new meaning to the phrase, an astounding fool. Larry, we have not seen hide or hair of the Iron Infant. Rest assured that if we find him, we'll let you know. Now get out of there. Sounds good. In that case, I'll go search over there. Hey, wait! Well, it's not as if you'll get very far swimming around in that pool. Though he's unrelated to the murders, he sure knows how to cause a lot of trouble. Oh, so you're cool? That's a lie. How dare you? It's an overdone spotlight here. When Ziyata Karasu appeared, it was the audience that was waiting for the speech to start panning. I suppose that's when someone knocked it over. We had a tough time visualizing the mass confusion that took place here. I sought to use my feet to capture Ziyata Karasu. However, there were people in my way and I was unable to land even a single lash. Suppose this means that some other poor saps were hit instead. Must be the other grass who hit these bushes. Of course not. These are all bushes. You've been spending too much time with Scruffy and that girl. They're rubbing off on you. But it's alright. I'll wake you out of your stupor. Now, the next time you feel the snake sleep talking, remember that I'll whip you for you. Which I was offer up a possibility. This is what I get. A statue of a woman. I wonder if the lady is pouring water. It says that the statue of the queen who spoke to love to King Primador. Well, Myers Edgeworth, it seems that you are lousy at reading a woman's heart. I run my mouth about a statue and she somehow made the leap to that. The statue bears a resemblance to the Primador statue. The plaque says King Primador on the battlefield. In order to save the queen, King Primador put his life on the line and went to war. So Primador was actually a person of royal blood. I thought he was simply someone imitating a character from an ancient legend. Well, what surprises me is that the real person who looks like Cecile Stamina existed. I suppose there's that too. Okay, so it's more of the return ones here. Was Ambassador Alba sat in this chair? Ambassador Alba is very elderly. The chair was prepared for him should he have gotten tired during his speech. And I guess why didn't he plan to make his speech sitting down in the first place? The ambassador is also quite prideful. That's why. Sounds like my old principal from grade school. Speak at assemblies. So where Ambassador Alba was to give his speech. The stage was set up nicely, however, where was the audience supposed to sit? Perhaps they were supposed to sit around that edge of a pool. There's such poor planning if there was no other place than a spot or two by the pool. So they really should have made seating arrangements like how the gallery is set up in court. Indeed, you can sense the consideration for the viewers was taken with those. So in the end, the speaker and his audience were to stand the whole time, huh? Yes, although I suspect the audience would have liked to sit down after a while. Have you finished checking out all the bystanders? Yes, sir. We found 14 counts of pickpocketing, 16 counts of illegal parking, and one person that ran a light, sir. Don't tell me you didn't find out anything related to the case. Sir, not a single thing, sir. Well, for now, let's just get those other lawbreakers down to the precinct. Agent Lang. Well, if it isn't Mr. Prosecutor. I would just like to thank you for your assistance earlier. Make no mistake, it's not like I was trying to help you with what I did. After I left, you did receive word from Ambassador Alba. We're gonna wrap up our bodyguard assignment at the end of the day. Oddly enough, we received word from HQ to return home on an urgent matter. Heh, as if I can be so easily called away from this case after I've come this far. I swear that I'll find the truth and drag it out screaming into the light. Thank you, Maku. I hope you're doing okay, buddy. You're with me on that, right, Mr. Prosecutor? You were working as Ambassador Alba's bodyguard at the time. So naturally, you witnessed when the Yatagarasu appeared, correct? Yeah, I saw the thief all right with my own two eyes. The Yatagarasu is always there, lurking in the shadows. When the spotlights are turned on for Ambassador Elba's speech, a shadow appeared. That's when cries of, "It's the Yatagarasu," rang out. The next second, the spotlights went out. And by the time we got to the area lit again, the deaf thief had vanished. When we investigated afterwards, we found that the reason the lights went out was because someone had unplugged the extension plug for all the outdoor electronics. Whether it was someone doing it on purpose, or simply a guest who had tripped over it, we don't know. But one thing is for certain, the Yatagarasu was here. So you're saying, basically, all you saw was the thief's silhouette? Yes. Lunar! How was ducks, my friend? Hope your stomach's feeling better. Yes.
Objection!
If all you saw was the shadow, then it's entirely possible that the shadow belonged to someone else. Ha! Good thinking, sis. You just might be right. If it weren't for the fact that there was no one else with that same shape. Not among the staff or the audience members. My men have already done a thorough check with everyone, so I know I'm right. Someone else's shadow. Sounds like a plausible hypothesis. A suddenly appearing and disappearing shadow of the Yatagarasu. I believe I figured out its true origin. I expect no less from my subordinate. Now, let's hear what you know on this subject. You cast the shadow of the Yatagarasu. Obviously the lights.
Take that!
Basically, if you could take a look at this, would you find it to be a bit suspicious? That's just all. As I thought. But you see, I was merely testing you just now. We have no time for the waste. I know cobblestone. Oh, with your explanation already. I guess I just couldn't understand my point. Could it be the statue?
Take that!
Suddenly appearing and disappearing shadow of the Yatagarasu. Is it not possible that it was created by this statue?
Objection!
Are you paying me for a fool Miles Edgeworth? This shadow bears absolutely no resemblance to the shadow of the Yatagarasu. You're correct. However, the statue is but one part of the whole picture. What do you mean by only one part? What is the other part in the real form of the Yatagarasu shadow? Gonna be the leaf?
Take that!
Nope, not the leaf. How do I do the lights?
Take that!
Nope, not the lights. What is on the other side? I can't move over, that's the problem. Again.
Take that!
It's another statue. The Yatagarasu shadow was made from the shadows of these two statues. Made? What do you mean by that? Right now, the spotlights are all over the place. This is because they were removed when the guests were in a panicked state. However, if we were to restore the lights to where they were when the thief appeared, you believe you'd see two shadows that create Yatagarasu's shadow. Precisely. Now then, watch as I reveal the true form of the Yatagarasu. First, we set up a spotlight to cast the shadow of King Primido in the battlefield. The shadow of the king statue would appear on the backdrop of the stage. Likewise, if we set the light up on the queen who spoke love to the king Primido, her silhouette would also appear on the backdrop of the stage. Aha! So if we were to combine these two shadows, it looks nothing like the Yatagarasu shadow. Yes, Edgeworth, how do you explain this grotesque shape? Calm down, Francisco. The way the light needs to be shown on the Queen statue is wrong. What do you mean by that? The whole of the King statue needs to be used for this to work. However, in the case of the Queen, I don't believe her whole shadow is needed. The person who created the shadow only used one part of her shadow. Only one part? And one part is big enough to fill the rest of the Yatagarasu's shadow. Why didn't you say that in the first place? You're right. I apologize. Part of the Queen statue was used to complete the Yatagarasu shadow. Her hand.
Take that!
Think back to what is missing in her shadow. 5 long, thin areas, correct? Now, what does that remind you of? Ah! That's right. It can only be the shadow of the Queen's left hand. Francisco, can you please adjust the spotlight's position so that it only shines on the Queen's left hand? Alright, so let's give it a shot and see what we get. It's... yeah, this is exactly like the shadow I saw. The culprit must have changed the spotlight's positioning beforehand, and then pulled the plug after people saw what the culprit wanted them to see. Edward. They panicked. The guest must have moved the spotlights around, which we can assume is also part of the culprit's plan. By the time the lights came back on, the Yatagarasu's shadow had vanished. The shadow was a construct, which means the shadow was a construct from the very beginning. So you see, the Yatagarasu never did visit Alabasta Night. The only country that could be visited was Babel, although it can be assumed that the Yatagarasu had an accomplice in Alabasta. An accomplice? But who? I haven't figured that out yet, but I assume it was the person who set up the shadow show. Since the bigger clue yet to solve in this case is the existence of this accomplice. How's the investigation going? How's the investigation going? Detective Bat, you come to join us in investigating the Yatagarasu? I've left the murder and Agent Lang's charge. And my only target from the very beginning is the Yatagarasu. So yes. So, what have you found out? I got a piece of evidence. May I see it? Sure, but you might regret it. Yeah, because we are ready to face whatever may come. So if you please. When people heard the commotion, bystanders started gathering. And one woman claimed, I'm telling you, I'm a genuine international journalist. She gave me an interesting picture. Oh God, not a lot of her. A journalist? Well, actually, she's a freelance cameraman. This is the photo I got from her. What in the world? Yatagarasu is flying through the air? The times, they are changing. It's not just me. Evidence, even they lie to us now. When was this photo taken? Apparently right after the fires on the 4th and 5th floors were put out. It was taken from a nearby building that you could see the embassy from. I see, so this was taken after the fire. Blur in this photo took off from the Bambalese embassy, flew over the boundary, and headed for the embassy in Alabasta.
Objection!
This is simply not possible. People are incapable of flight. Is that a fact? I've had the pleasure of dealing with a case involving a flying person once. Actually, come to think of it, I've come across a case like that as well. 2, actually. Maybe it happens more often than we think. I have to ask something the mystery behind this photograph. Well, the Yatagarasu took off from the Babelese embassy, so I should start from there. Francisca, I will need to return to the Babel investigation for a bit. Alright. I'll continue the investigation on this side of the building. Alright, I'm counting on you. Welcome back, Mr. Edgeworth. Now come on, let's get back to our investigation. Yes, let's. To think, after all the running around, we're right back where we started. It would appear that way. Hi, Mr. Edgeworth. You found Eddie's killer yet? Terribly sorry, Ambassador Polino, but I have yet to find his killer. And I guess his murder really was the work of the Yatagarasu. Let's get one thing straight. It was the work of the fake Yatagarasu. The real Yatagarasu is a noble vigilante who was only out to steal the truth. Miss Faraday, please don't make such a sad face. If there's anything I can do for you, all you have to do is ask, alright? Mr. Polino. Actually, there is one thing you can do. Will you allow us to take another look around? We didn't have enough time to conduct a thorough investigation earlier. Oh, sure. Please feel free to investigate to your heart's content. Also, there's a few questions I'd like to ask you personally, Ambassador. I will, if it will bring a smile back to Miss Faraday's face, then I'll gladly answer anything. Thank you, Mr. Polino. You're a total gentleman. You don't have to waste words on me, little miss. Hey, Sir Polino. These two sure got chummy awfully quick. I know it's easy to say we're going to investigate, but should we begin? Should probably start by comparing the state of this room before and after the fire. And then we should look into the matter of the suspicious person you spotted. Yeah, when I came into this room, that person was already gone. But I'm willing to bet the person I was chasing is Mr. Kochin's killer. We don't know that yet. However, it's hard to believe that person is unrelated. Furthermore, because the key to the Yatagarasu stole 7 years ago was found here, it signals that perhaps Miss Yu is also somehow involved. I knew it! That woman was almost definitely Mr. Kochin's killer. Yet again, we don't know that. There are too many mysteries to be solved here. Speaking of the Yatagarasu and mysteries, I received the most mysterious photo from Detective Bad. Uncle Bad? He's taking part in the investigation too? Yes. He has been chasing after the Yatagarasu for all these years. Uncle Bad. Now then, I was told this photo was taken just after the fire. What? This kind of looks like the person in the long coat I was chasing. Does this mean that I was chasing the fake Yatagarasu after all? I don't know the answer to your question, but I don't think people can fly either. But this could be the how that person escaped. Well, we need to investigate a bit before we can say anything about that. In any case, let's not dawdle anymore and pick up our investigation where we left off. That reminds me of a falling ceiling fan. Oh, I've seen a few of these before. Spin around and around to play music. I believe you're thinking of a musical mobile for babies. Yeah, that's it. But they're nothing alike. They're totally alike. They spin those babies right around like a record. I see. I guess I guess I can see how you might think that. This is the real Primitive statue. This is really valuable, right? That's what they say.
Hold it!
Okay, you're not seriously considering the theft of the statue, are you? No way, Mr. Edgeworth. I wasn't thinking about anything like that. I was just calculating in my head how much the statue's worth. That sounds mighty suspicious to me. Still don't know where the blade of the Babylonis knife went. Could it be that? Jared, thank you for the subscription. That puts us at 40, only 10 away from the Poppy's Playtime playthrough. Now then, Mr. Ambassador, I'd like to ask you about your movements before the fire broke out. Before the fire? Which fire are you talking about? Which one? There was more than one tonight? Huh? Oh, I see. I guess you didn't hear about it. We had 2 fires here at the Babylonis Embassy tonight. What a bother it all was. Wait, but the only fire we know about is the one after the Jamma Ninja show. Well, the first occurred at the start of the Jamma Ninja show. Luckily, only the 4th and 5th floors of our embassies were caught on fire. Not wanting to cause a panic among the theater goers, we decided to keep it internal. And the fire after the Jamma Ninja show was the second one of the night. Exactly. So the fire I witnessed was the second one. Come to think of it, didn't Detective Bad make reference to the first fire? When was this photo taken? Apparently, right after the fires on the 4th and 5th floors were put out. I suppose this means that the photo was taken just after the first fire was put out. So what was the extent of the damage in the second fire? Second fire was contained to this floor, the third floor. I think it was leftover embers from the fire on the floors above that caused it. That's, how should I put this? A very bad stroke of luck. My office on the 5th floor, Manny's office here, and Manny himself, all gone in the blink of an eye. I feel so sorry for you, Mr. Polino. You're ready to kill me, so have fun, Jer. So I was going to look going on and on. Now then, what was it you wanted to ask again? We were discussing your actions and whereabouts for today were. If you happen to know where Mr. Cochin's actions and whereabouts were as well. Yes, very well. Let's see. I've been quite busy all day and from morning until now. First I woke up and then I brushed my teeth. After that I had a roll for breakfast.
Hold it!
Fascinating. How about if you just skip to the relevant parts for me? Oh, you'd like a condensed version? Alright, I could do that for you. So what did Mr. Cochin and you do this morning? Well, originally we were supposed to meet and shake hands with the Jammin' Ninja. Manny and I wanted to turn it into a photo op, so we were here tidying up his office. You helped Mr. Cochin's office? Why were you not cleaning your own? Oh, I think I forgot to mention this, but my office is currently undergoing renovations. Which is why both the Primito statue and the Babyliss knife set are down here. I see. Oh, but the tidying didn't take much, really. We just burned some files we no longer needed and expired coupons in the fireplace. I bet cleaning up the fireplace must have been a real pain, though, huh? Oh, about that. Kinda forgot to clean the ashes out. I guess I'm up to a creek without Manny here to get angry at me. How about that ads? I'll wait a second, I'm gonna get some more water. Come on, we're just waiting for the Saribot to pop up saying their ads are going on. There's the ad. Alright, I'm gonna use the restroom. I'm gonna grab some water. I'll be right back, everybody. And welcome back, everybody. Let's keep going then, shall we?
Hold it!
An ambassador like yourself has been on the receiving end of a secretary's anger? Oh, he was very good at being mad. Why, even just this morning he got mad at me. I spilled some Babbly's ink onto the back wall when I was burning the files, you see. And he got mad at me, saying that I should treat the ink with more respect. Talk about the boss getting bossed around. That's about it for what we did this morning. Just some cleaning. Now you had no other work to do. Being an ambassador and all. Now then, if you could tell me what you do and Mr. Cochin did this afternoon. Well, Manny and I went down together to the Theatrum Neutralis. We had to be there for the start of the Steel Samurai Sage show. After the show started, I went back to my office on the 5th floor alone. So they were together until the start of the Steel Samurai show. A little while later, after I had straightened myself up a bit, I returned to the theater. Because I was to take part in the photo op on stage at the end of the show. There was a commemorative photo op at the end. It was a fantastic photo of the three of us, Ambassador Alba, the Steel Samurai, and myself. For the photo shoot, I went back to my office on the 5th floor to prepare for my handshake photo op with the Jammin' Ninja. He seems to be rather overworked for an ambassador. When I got to my office, that's when the first fire broke out and I escaped down the stairs. The house was completely destroyed, but thankfully no one was hurt. I admit I ran away from the first fire as fast as my legs would carry me. But during the second one, I pitched it and helped the embassy staff put it up. So you didn't see Mr. Cochin again after the start of the Steel Samurai show? Yes, that's right. Next time I saw him, he was lying there in an eternal sleep. I see. Ambassador Poleno, I thank you very much for your help. I'm sorry I couldn't be of more assistance, Mr. Edgeworth. If there is anything else, please don't hesitate to ask, all right? It looks like all the souvenir stuff suffered some damage from the fire. I just don't believe it. Murder on top of arson? What a disgrace to the name of the Yatagarasu. The fake Yatagarasu is guilty of much more than just theft, it seems. I know, because if it were me, my first priority would have been to loot the bookshelf. The still ordinary souvenirs that you can buy virtually anywhere. You can't buy them anywhere. Each one is specific to a location and it has its own value. And items that have memories attached to them are the most valuable of all. Could you really rob someone of their valuable memories just like that? No, because even if I take the souvenir, I can't take the owner's memories. A grandfather clock. This one resembles the one in Alabast. Oh, that clock has been with us since back when we were still Cadopia. There's one big clock. Hey, does this one have a bird that pops out like a cuckoo clock? I'm sorry, but no. Oh, but I'm sure you'll love its chime. Really? It's going to be 11 soon, so maybe I'll get to hear it then. Is it the time already? Time sure does fly when I'm involved in an investigation. Oh, it's not that late. The night's only just begun. Okay, it's not good for you to stay up late, you know. Yes, Gramps. Mr. Poleno, would you happen to know what these chart trades are of? I don't know, actually. But I don't think there was anything there that should have been flammable. So it remains a mystery to what was burned here. Ambassador Poleno, what exactly used to be here? That used to be a stack of brand new pamphlets. Looks like they were all burned up. So I guess we'll just have to reprint them. But no matter how fast we print them, they always disappear so quickly. Isn't the Heavenly's tourism industry really that hot right now? Of course! Although recently, the most popular vacation destination has been the Republic of Borginia. But we refuse to lose to them, so we've been hard at work promoting Babel. Interesting. Well, I've just recently returned from a trip to Borginia myself. Oh, and how did you like it? It was alright. I probably shouldn't bring up the fact that I was a suspect on the flight home. The safe wasn't open at the time of the fire. You could tell all that. You could tell because the inside wasn't burnt, right? Yes, and thanks to the safe's fire resistance, the smuggling evidence was preserved. Aren't safes great? They always hold wonderful promise of treasures within. Well, this certainly did have a few inside. Thank you for the hydrate, Jay. I'll take care of that right now. Fireplace, huh? So Babel's offices have them too. Two? There is a fireplace in relatively the same location in the Alabaston office. However, we found that something there I'd rather not recall ever again. I still can't believe that we found that lady's undershirt in the fireplace. If it was that traumatizing, why don't you try creating new memories with this fireplace? You could climb inside and we could play hide and seek. And come out covered in soot? I think not. Ah, you really have no sense of fun, Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, I don't need to do that quite yet. You can see the Yellow Bastion Embassy through this window. So, where were you when they were investigating over there, Mr. Edgeworth? You can see it from here. I was there on the 5th floor. That's where Damask 2 was killed. That's where Damask 2 was killed. What? You don't mean Damask 2? Aw, poor guy. As a fellow second-generation thief, I can't turn a blind eye to this. Willow Damask 2 was merely an imposter of the original. It appears that this area was heavily damaged by the fire. Yeah, I guess we should hurry up and get started examining everything. We have the ink here. There's a bottle of Babbly's ink on Mr. Coach's desk. And it looks like there's still a lot of ink left inside. The seal is unbroken, so the fire probably couldn't get into the bottle to burn up the ink. Hey, Mr. Polano, it looks like your precious Babbly's ink is all right after all. What? That's odd.
Hold it!
Ambassador, what do you mean by that? Well, it's just that there is something strange about the ink. Would you mind elaborating on that statement for me, please? I'm gonna look it up a bit more. These embassy phones are just like normal phones, huh? Well, what did you imagine them to look like? Well, the babbles would look like a flower and the receiver would be like a butterfly. That way, they looked like the butterfly receiver was sucking nectar from the flower's base. If any country had a flower phone, it would be Alabast, don't you think? Oh, then maybe the phone I envisioned would have been from when they were Cadopia. There's really no point in asking me about something that never existed in the first place. You know what you lack, Mr. Edgeworth? Curiosity and an imagination. There's only one book left standing here. Treasures of the World. Wait, what? Let me see that. I see. Ah! The most important part of the was blackened out by the fire. Why, cruel fate? Why? Looks like there's a map of where the treasures are located that has been burnt. This is a very comfortable chair. Well, it doesn't look all that broken, so why don't you try sitting in it? No, I'd better not. It's very important that we preserve the crime scene at all times. Wait, but you're always touching all sorts of things at crime scenes. That's because I'm a prosecutor. It's part of my job to examine things. And my job is to be a great thief, which is exactly why you are not allowed to touch anything. Manny-Coach, his name is written here on this nameplate. Why don't you put a nameplate with your name on it in your own office? I suppose just to inform people in case they walked into the wrong room by mistake. Do you think that maybe it's also there to remind you of your own name if you forget? Well, either way, it's never a bad thing to set a nameplate on one's desk. Looks like a bunch of flyers with coupons attached to them. Babble sure gives away a lot of different coupons. I should create one of my own. I could call it the Great Thief Coupon. What kind of discount would that net you? The 5-finger kind, what else? And I'd steal an extra thing or two for the bear. Things such as the truth. What else would I steal? What I wouldn't give to have a mountain of your coupons right now. Let's see. This desk also fell victim to the fire. But it doesn't look too damaged. Oh, I think we can rifle through the drawer a bit. I suppose we really should take a look. Rather unusual shape for a notepad. I suppose this must be another souvenir from somewhere. Seems that the contents of this drawer survived the writer rather well. Now that's a sturdy desk. I guess that's the value of the solid wood construction. Let's see if there's anything useful left in here, Mr. Edgeworth. Something very... yeah, this fucking note is like exactly what we're looking at here.
Eureka!
The shape of this notepad matches the shape of this note we found. Hey, you're right. What is it? It looks like something straight out of Monument Valley. Oh yes, that notepad is a souvenir from somewhere in your country. We've been collecting them for the purpose of studying them, you see. Yes, I do. You do seem quite passionate about it. Oh, would you like to see my souvenir collection? I'd love to show it to you. Sure they haven't been burned to a crisp by the fires? Ambassador Polino, I was wondering if you might recognize the handwriting in this note. This looks like Manny's handwriting. I see, in that case. Oh, did you figure something out? This note was found in Alabast. Specifically, it was found to be firmly grasped by the murdered Matt Damask II. Damask II? This note? Yes, it was a request from Mr. Cochin for Damask II to steal the Primido statue. What? Manny? Tried to steal Alabast Primido statue? We would know for sure if we could run a handwriting analysis. Ambassador, do you have any documents that were handwritten by Mr. Cochin? Yes, I can gather a few and give them to you. I'll ask Detective Gumshoe later to run the analysis. I can't believe that Manny would even think of doing something like this. Do you have any ideas why he would have requested the theft of a statue? There is one possibility, but mind you, it's just my personal speculation. Anything you can tell me would be a great help, Ambassador. Alright, let's go back and talk to him a bit. I wonder if you might tell me what you noticed about Mr. Cochin's bottle of ink. It's just thought of it right now, but during the second fire, Manny was worried about his office, so he came rushing back to it. I called out to him, but when I received no reply, I used my spare key to open the door. But when I did, I was greeted by roaring green flames. The flames were so big that I wasn't able to see into the room at all.
Hold it!
The fire was green? What's the cause? Oh, white crystal oil burns green when it's lit, as you can see by this lantern. And Babylone's ink is made from the same oil, which means it would also burn green. You know, I too had thought it was Manny's ink that had caught fire. That's why I was surprised to find out there was still a bottle of ink left on his desk. The case of the perplexing green flames. Talk about a mystery. What exactly was it that caught fire in here? You said you might have an idea as to why Mr. Cochin hired Damask too? Actually, I fear it may be my fault. As I was telling you earlier, we were to determine which statue was the real one as a part of today's event. But because the Yatagarasu and the fire here, that got canceled, right? I'm actually relieved the rest of the event hasn't been canceled. You see, Babel's statue, well, it's just a replica. And did Mr. Cochin know that about Babel's Surindo statue? Of course he knew. That's why he was the only person I could consult with. We'd have to do something once our statue was revealed as the replica. As to be expected, I was very nervous today, as this would impact our country's authority. Yes, I understand. Well, when I told Manny my concern, he said, let me handle it. It'll be all right. I'll find a way to make sure you're the ambassador of the reunited Canopia. At the time, I thought he was just trying to cheer me up. But when I saw the note, I realized he was serious.
Hold it!
Mr. Cochin conducted a lot of business behind your back. I assume he did all that to ensure that you are the next Canopian ambassador? But why was he trying so hard, I wonder? He was so much better at getting things done than I ever was, or will be. I don't have an answer yet as to why he's trying so hard. But I suspect he had an ulterior motive in mind beyond just simple kindness. Oh, here you are, Mr. Edgeworth. Detective Gumshoe, have you collected the information that I requested? Yep, got it all right here, sir. There you go, Kay. Feel free to take a look. It's for you, after all. What is all this, Kemi? It's all the information on this room that I got from the embassy and Interpol people. Now we know exactly how this room was before and after the fire. Good work, Detective. Oh, I was nothing, sir. I'm an expert at getting people to talk. Wow, you two remind me so much of my father and Uncle Bad. What do you mean? As prosecutor detective, your dynamic is just like theirs back in the day. Well, don't you worry. I'm going to find my own wonderful partner someday. And when I do, I'm going to become a good Yatagarasu, just like my father, right?
Hold it!
Please don't ask me questions to which I have no answers to, Kay. However, I can say that it is truly a wonderful thing to find a partner you can trust. You bet! So what now, Mr. Edgeworth? Well, I'd like to ask you for a favor. Yes? That gadget. The thief, is it? Mr. Thief, the thing you call your secret weapon? Oh, you mean Little Thief? You're coming to rely on it, aren't you?
Hold it!
I don't need a crutch like that. I'm only asking because I need it for the investigation. From the information Detective Gumshoe gathered, and for the ambassador's testimony, I'd like you to please recreate this room as it was during the third floor fire. You got it. All right, here we go. Dark skies of evening when no other bird dares take wing. What alone remains, all seeing. Now witness the true power of a real modern-day Robin Hood. Seems there are other things besides what the ambassador mentioned that have changed. It's possible that we might find the escape route the person Kay saw used as well. Oh, what is this? Is this some sort of light show I was not told about? This is the power of a true vigilante. It's recreating the room with the info I inputted. Really? This is certainly one interesting device you have there, Miss Faraday. I thought you it's about time we turned to our investigation. This must be then the large green flames Ambassador Polino saw. The flames like these, it's no wonder he couldn't get in. Okay, by the time you came into this room, had the fire already been put out? Yeah, the fire had died out or something by that time. And this fire here is only burned from the time the fire started on the third floor until the Atakarasu appeared and caused a stir and babble, I suppose. I guess Mr. Polino was lucky enough to run into the first fire while as it was burning, huh? Yes, you could put it that way. It's you were the first to discover the body. I assume that no one else entered the room until that time. No one other than the person you were chasing, of course. I knew it. That person, as I saw, was definitely up to no good. I mean, that person could even be Mr. Cochin's killer. That's very likely to be the case. After all, that person came into this room before you, and must have chosen this room precisely because they knew no one would be in here. Okay, then maybe the green fire was where it was to prevent anyone from coming in. But then, what did the person set up fire to make the green flames? Well, whatever it is, the person burned it. Whatever it is that person burned, it made a rather sizable fire. And since the fire is green, well, we've seen something that burns green, right? It's a bit thinner than these flames. You get what I mean. Yes, and I do believe what you were thinking is exactly why these flames are green. Which fire-related piece of evidence burns the same color as these green flames?
Take that!
Green flames, these flames related to this. Oh, really? No, I don't think they're related at all. Oh, well, yeah, sorry. It isn't related. What the ink? Thanks for being wrong. What? I'm always honest. And that's a good thing. Yeah, just keep doing it. Don't answer it. Alright, so yeah, okay, they want the lantern.
Take that!
The silhouette lantern. Its green flame comes from the white crystal oil it's burning. Yeah, that's the fire I was thinking of too. I love the green gives off. I think we've now established that the green flames were caused by white crystal oil. Furthermore, we know that there is only one other thing made from white crystal oil. Oh, you mean that thing Mr. Polino was mistaken about, right? Yes, precisely. As you found out earlier in our investigation. What? I don't get it. Can you fill me in, sir? Fine, I suppose I'll explain in a way that even you can understand. This is the thing that was made from white crystal oil that Ambassador Polino was mistaken about.
Take that!
Babelese ink is made from white crystal oil. Oh, so it should burn the same color as the flames of the lantern, right? Yes, precisely. However, the green flames in this room were not from a bottle of Babelese ink. Because we found the ink Mr. Cochin used on his desk, right? Yes, however, we know that Mr. Cochin was smuggling the ink in massive quantities. Now, what do you suppose he made using all that ink? I believe what he made with that ink is the answer to what gave birth to the green flames. Oh yeah, I'm beginning to feel the energy coming from you, Mr. Edgeworth. It would appear that I finally found it. The smuggling ring's real gold. Amazing. This is the source of the green flames.
Take that!
What consumed that great of a volume of ink to make? That would be the counterfeit bills that the smuggling ring made and are circulating in Zhengfa. You're kidding! You're saying that it was Mr. Cochin who made the counterfeit bills? I am. I believe you could even go as far as to say that he stole Babel's printing press. Ambassador, Mr. Cochin had permission to freely use the printing press, correct? Why, yes, and I do remember seeing him use it in the middle of the night. But I never did I think he was using it for such a foul deed. Ambassador, A serious secretary's crime will need to be investigated as well. Oh yes, I suppose so. We've caused a bit of trouble for a few countries, haven't we? It's my duty to search out all who shielded Mr. Cochins and to conceal his crimes. But they are ones who started the fire in order to destroy the evidence. The grandfather clock. I was apparently in a different position before the fire. According to staff members, the clock was flush against the wall before this fire, sir. This means that most likely it was moved by someone during the fire. Speaking of which, it's totally 11 o'clock now, but I didn't hear any chiming. Oh, that's odd. It was still chiming right on the dot every hour this morning. Maybe the fire damaged its internal mechanisms or something. Master Plano, maybe look inside of that clock. Sure, go right on ahead. Detective Gumshoe, if you could please inspect the insides of this clock. Yes, sir. I'm on it. Mr. Edgeworth, I found this inside, sir. It looks like a length of wire. So this is what caused the clock to stop chiming. Well, what was a long length of wire doing inside this clock in the first place? Why would someone do this to such a valuable clock? It sounds like it wasn't Mr. Polano that put the wire in there. Perhaps it was Mr. Cochin's killer who did. Let's go to the Babylese knives was already missing before the fire began. So it would seem, especially since the other two knives handles were burned away. The remaining handle was swapped out with the one handle from the real murder weapon. And Babel's national treasure was stolen. Poor Babel, don't you think? I sure would love the replica statue in what the rest of Babel's was. So Babel is really pushing for their tourism industry, huh? Yes, it would appear that way. You know, I really'd love to take a trip. Hey, why don't we take one after this case? Do you already have the destination in mind? Well, ideally I'd go someplace where I can continue my thief training. Well, if you want to learn the fine art of stealth, perhaps you should visit the studio where they make the Gem and Ninja TV show. Hey, that's actually a really great idea, Mr. Edgeworth. Can't believe she took me seriously. So Babel's offices have them do. Two? Is it the same conversation? Because we're talking about the fucking... Go through this, we already heard this one. Hold on, I had something real quick. Alright, sorry about that. Alright, yeah, we're just gonna keep going through this. You can see the alabaster now. Okay, so it's the same thing. Chair, yeah. Yep, so we're just gonna go right through all this stuff here. And change them before the fire. Yeah, it just got a little burnt, that's all. It's a very fine desk. I'm sure that even now it's still useful. It's that great. Why don't you trade your desk with it? No. It was just a suggestion. You didn't have to get all monosyllabic on me, you know. Detective, you took part in the initial Babel investigation, correct? Yep, sure did. I also helped put both fires out, sir. But that first fire took me by surprise. I had a tough time escaping the fifth floor. First, I tried the elevator, but I guess someone else had the same idea because it was in use. If I had remembered to use the stairs at that point, I'd have been burnt to a crisp. Wait, that's odd. We always warn our staff that in case of a fire, it's dangerous to use the elevator. Oh. Maybe someone wrote it in a fit of panic. Detective, did you see the Yatagarasu that came into the Babylon's embassy at all? I didn't personally. And the other staff members told me they never got a good look at the person either, sir. What if you could tell me just a bit more about what you discovered, Detective? The second fire broke out around the time the Yatagarasu was spotted in Alabast. That's also when a suspicious person was spotted in Babel, which caused some panic.
Hold it!
So no one was able to get a good look at this Yatagarasu that entered Babel? Yeah, all they saw was a mysterious person wearing a long coat. But that's not enough to make a positive ID, you know. Still, it wasn't enough to make the people who received the calling card panic even more. A person in a long coat. Sounds like the exact same person I saw. The Yatagarasu that appeared in Alabast would just be a fabrication, a shadow. In light of that fact, the Yatagarasu that appeared in Babel is also suspect. You can't be serious. Not when they're this close to capturing the fake. I mean, Callisto, you. So the Yatagarasu appeared, caused mass confusion, killed Mr. Kocha, and then disappeared. The young detective... By the way, Detective, why did you not chase after the Yatagarasu? I did, but, well, this embassy is huge, sir. I got separated from the other staff members I was with and was lost for a while there.
Hold it!
You didn't even memorize the layout of the building you were to guard, Detective? I'll be sure to do that from now on, sir. But you know, it was thanks to me being lost that I was able to come to Kay's rescue. Oh, is that a fact? Yeah, it was when I was lost and wandering around in the third floor hallway, sir. When I heard a scream, I headed towards it right away. Oh, that's probably from when I found Mr. Kocha's body. Yeah, I thought it sounded like her, so I got real worried and ran as fast as I could. And it was thanks to Gawi that Miss Sheena wasn't able to take me away. He covered for me until you got here, Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, I see. So he can be useful once in a blue moon. Still, it's bad. It's too bad that Agent Sheena got here before I did. I wonder where Agent Sheena was before you found her here. Oh, just before I got to this room, I saw her coming out of the room next door. Sheena mentioned something about chasing the Yatagarasu herself earlier. Well, she apparently helped in putting out the first fire. Then during the second fire, I heard she was busy chasing the Yatagarasu. She seems to be a very dedicated agent. It would do well to learn from her. Why are you pointing at me when you say that, sir?
Don't worry, we've all noticed what a giant nerd you are.
Thank you, Tribal Library Shit. So everything in this office, there's still one thing that bothers me. Perhaps I should ask Ambassador Polino about it. Ambassador Polino, there's something I'd like to ask you about. Yes? About this office, it appears to me to be very similar to Ambassador Alba's office. For example, the location of the fireplace and the position of the grandfather clock. Ah, that's right. You also paid a visit to the Alabastan side of the embassy. Our two embassies are actually used to be one. Yes, I know. Even the pamphlet mentioned that. Which is why the building is bilaterally symmetrical. In which room, the location of the fireplace and the like are exactly the same. Even where the art is located is the same, as my room is currently under renovation. We worked hard to make Manny's room look like the ambassador's office. You mean for your handshake photo op with the Gem and Ninja? Yes, that's right. I mean, what's a photo like that if it's not taken in the ambassador's office, right? Another odd expression of Babel's obsessively competitive spirit with Alabast. I take it. Thank you, Ambassador. That piece of information is all I need to connect the dots. Connect what dots? Well, anyway, I'm glad I was able to be of some help. So, let's see. The Alabasta and Beverly sides of the building are symmetrical to each other. As we know that to be a fact, and this room's fireplace may also have a secret passageway. A secret passageway? In Alabasta, the fireplace turned out to have a revolving back wall. A revolving wall? It sounds like something out of a ninja house. Wow, there was a trick like that built into the fireplace, sir? What? This embassy holds that kind of secret? There seems to be a lot about this room that you don't know about, Ambassador. I guess it's time for me to pay the bill for letting Manny do so much work for me. Please, I really want to know all about the real Manny and what you know about this room. What are you waiting for, Mr. Edgeworth? Let's go get to the bottom of this. Great. And my first thought is that it's likely the killer used a revolving fireplace. Looks like just another fireplace, though, doesn't it? It looks... How do you turn it again? In Alabasta, I had to push where the X was on the far wall of the fireplace. Oh, I see an X back there, sir. Let's see what happens when I push it.
Hold it!
Ah, you scared me, sir. there is something about this fireplace that lies in contradiction to the facts. Huh? We found an X where you thought there'd be one, right? We did, but that's not what I was referring to. Something is missing from this scene. Which is me for us. So, according to his testimony, he spilled ink all over the back wall.
Eureka!
And left ashes. That's what about the fireplace as it currently is. And what exactly is that? Yeah, it's okay if you don't see it there, okay? I don't really get it either, but I figure it's just too splendid for me to understand. Come on, Mr. Edgeworth. Why don't you tell us what exactly is so contradictory? I can't exactly make anything wrong. Detective Gumshoe is the one asking. Come on, Mr. Edgeworth. My youth only lasts for so long, you know. Yes, well, let's get another look at the fireplace first, shall we? Push the sex mark, the fireplace wall should turn. On the fireplace wall, that's neat, sir. We should hurry up and...
Hold it!
Wait, Detective. There's something we need to examine about this first. Besides which, there is something I'd like to test. Like what, sir? I'll tell you later, Detective. For now, let's continue with the investigation. Oh, I see inside the fireplace is stored wood. Huh? That's odd. Doesn't match up with Mr. Polino said earlier, which is the meaning of this contradiction. So I had to present it at the fire, at the wood.
Eureka!
Ambassador Polino, you said that you burned some old files in this fireplace today, correct? Yes, I burned quite a few files this morning, actually. After you did, you forgot to clean off the ashes from the fireplace, correct? That's right, but why are you asking? And why are you making such a scary face? I'm sorry, I admit I'm a bit intimidating when I'm serious. In any case, take a good look at this fireplace and tell me what you find odd about it. Let's see. Huh? Where did all the ashes go? What's the meaning of this, Mr. Edgeworth? You don't really think that Ambassador Polino is lying, do you? No, there's no reason for him to lie. And I don't believe his testimony is wrong either. If it is the fireplace that is causing the contradiction. Kay, I wonder if you might update the fireplace data for me. You got it. I'll add in the ashes from the burned files and... Sounds like we pretty much figured everything out now, huh? Well, it was nothing. All I did was follow where our leads led us. Oh, I sense it coming on. You're about to dazzle us again, right? Oh, you mean that? Well, it's what Mr. Edgeworth is known for, you know? There's really no need for you two to dance around the name of what I'm about to do. Let's see. The reason as to why the ashes are missing is simple. It's not because someone cleaned them up, right? No, because even if someone did sweep them up, the fireplace is still too clean for that. Ambassador Polino said that he spilled some Babyliss ink while he was burning the files. And yet there is not a trace of the spilled ink on the back wall anywhere. Well then, I don't really know what happened. Well, I'll tell you what happened. The two sides were switched. By using the revolving fireplace wall, the ashes were moved into the neighbor's room. Which means that this is a clear indication that the fireplace was used. Then you mean the person I was chasing disappeared from this room through there? Yes, I believe the person you were in pursuit of is Mr. Kochin's killer. And after committing the murder, escaped through the fireplace. Wow, Mr. Edgeworth, you figured out a killer's escape route. Alright, but it's only beginning. Now we have to chase the killer down. Nice. The killer used the fireplace in this room to escape into the next. It's only logical for us to talk with the person who was in the neighboring room. Well, the person who was in the next room was... Oh, it was that person, sir! Yes, Detective. Agent Sheena. It's looking more and more like Miss Sheena is the killer, isn't it? Let's not jump to conclusions yet. We need to go through what we know so far. She came running straight into this room from the next one and instantly accused you. Furthermore, she claimed that it could only have been you that killed Mr. Kochin. I don't have any proof yet. However, I know she is hiding something from us. Okay then, why don't we go ask Miss Sheena herself?
Hold it!
No, not yet. There's something that needs to be done first. Detective Gumshoe. Sir, is it my turn to do something, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, I have a two-part special assignment for you. First, I need you to run a handwriting analysis on Damask 2's note. Okay, I'll get the lab boys on it right away. Second, I want you to see if you can fit through the revolving fireplace wall. Right now, sir? Yeah, no, next decade. Of course now. We need to test our hypothesis first, don't we? Go on, Gummy, you can do it. All right, I'm gonna do this like a real man. Here I go, through the fireplace and back. You shouldn't need to psych yourself up that much for such a simple task, Detective. Wow, the wall inside the fireplaces really did turn. That's so neat. I want to try going through there too. There really is a secret passageway through there. I had no idea. But it appears that the ash really was pushed to the end of the other room. Furthermore, the Babylonia ink you spilled about there is there on the back wall. Okay, here I go, sir.
Hold it!
Detective, I'd like you to go through there under the same condition as the killer. But there's all that ash and stuff. And your point is, now we're short on time. If you could please hurry through. Yes, sir. So now we pretty much have all the whole picture, right? No, not yet. There remains a few more mysteries to solve, such as the Atagarasu's whereabouts, the other smuggling ring members, the two weapons that made it across the borders, the key Miss Yu stole 7 years ago. In fact, we haven't figured out a thing regarding how Miss Yu is related to these embassies. Mr. Edgeworth, a number of pieces connect in a very complicated way in this case. It's almost enough to make one completely mentally exhausted. What are you saying, Mr. Edgeworth? I thought you were the one who said that it was easy if you follow the leads. Was that supposed to be an impression of me, Kay? If it's info gathering you need, Kami and I can help with that. Then all you have to do is show off your fancy schmancy logical deductions. Show off? Does it seem like I'm being boastful when I do that? Let's not overcomplicate matters, okay, Mr. Edgeworth? I've been so focused like a laser on what seems strange and out of place. It's no wonder nothing's clicked and we haven't unlocked anything yet. But if we think things through calmly, the answer should come to us. Okay, that's the sort of thing I say to myself when I'm practicing how to unlock padlocks, you know? That is something that I hope practice doesn't make perfect for your sake. Yay! Looks like you're back to your straight-laced self again. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. I'm back, sir. Yes, I can see that. Good work, Detective. Looks like you can use the fireplace like a door, sir. Are you alright, Gummy? I'm okay. It's just a bit of ash and dust, that's all. Your jacket has gotten quite filthy. I see the hem has practically turned black. Yeah, well, quite a bit of unburned ink got on it, sir. I see. Thank you, Detective. You did a fine job. I'll even pay for the cleaning dough for the trench coat. What? Oh, no, sir. I could never. Thank you, Allie, for reminding me. For making me look over. Yeah, that's thank you, Allie. Yes, I appreciate it.
You can pack your things.
We're just gonna relax a minute while we're waiting for everyone to come back. Just relaxing now. Alright, welcome back, everybody. Thank you, Allie, for reminding me that we have that I had ads going on there and then to stop. Alright, let's continue moving forward. If it was a code I actually cared about, then I'd get it clean, but you know, I see. Very well then, as you wish. So, because Cameron was able to climb through the fireplace, you know it can be used, right? Yes, but that's not all we learned. We actually learned one other important fact. And that is, I'll have to explain it to you later. Right now, we need to deal with the handwriting analysis. Detective Gumshoe. Yes, sir. I'll be back before you know it. Handwriting analysis of Mr. Cochin's handwriting will take a bit of time. Let's go and wait in the Theatrum Mutalis, along with Agent Lang and Agent Sheena. Agent Lang. Lang G says little cubs never do what the real fury of the the real fury of the Elder Wolves. Its quotes are definitely becoming increasingly difficult to decipher. What does that mean? It means that you'll never really know how angry I can get. Mr. Prosecutor, the counterfeit bills made with Babbly's ink. They were all of the Zangfa denominations. Yes, so I heard from Miss Von Karma. But we don't know if it's where the money has gone. We must not have figured that out. That it was all burned out yet. Ever since those things showed up in circulation, my country's economy has taken a big hit. Zangfa is in financial chaos as we speak. Because we can't tell the difference between our own bills and the fakes. But it's not just the money. The citizens are also worried. I stake the honor of the House of Lang on this. And I've come to this land to capture the mastermind behind the whole mess. I investigated how the bills were made and how the ink was smuggled into Zangfa. And I pursued the smuggling ring all the way here. But tonight, this is where the final chapter was written. Despite my frantic efforts to chase the smuggler down, someone got to him first. And now I'm called to return home without a single answer. Agent Lang, don't start. It's not your fault. It's not anyone's fault, Mr. Prosecutor. Ambassador Alba, I'm sorry for all the trouble tonight. Oh, no. It is I who should apologize. It was all because I was not strong enough. Only I was able to think of a better solution. Curse, you fool! Curse your empty brain! Hey, you're being too hard on yourself, Ambassador. I take full responsibility for tonight. End of story. Sheena, let's go. Time to return to our den. Yes. I don't suspect you, but there's not much else for us to do but go home as well. Agent Lang, a moment if you... You, Wolfman and Secretary Lady, hold it! Objection, pal! Detective Gumshoe, have you got the results of the handwriting analysis already? Yep, and that note was definitely written by Mr. Cochin, sir. Just as I thought. Good work, Detective. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor. How long do you intend to hold us up for? Sorry to have made you wait, but I believe that now everyone is finally here. Agent Sheena, I'd like to ask you something if you don't mind. Yes? How exactly did you fail to see the Yatagarasu when you were in the neighboring room to where Mr. Cochin was killed? I'd like you to explain that to us. What? Hey, Mr. Prosecutor. What are you doing asking her about something she didn't see? It doesn't touch the Babel investigation at all. I suppose I wanted to explain a few things to him first. My nose itches. I can't even begin to imagine what's going on in that head of yours. The only thing going on in my head is the pursuit of the truth. Oh? It sounds like you have some sort of plan. Very well, I'll supervise you until the end. She's seriously going to treat me as a subordinate for the rest of the day? You're not trying to pick a fight with my subordinate on some flimsy guess, are you? I'm not trying to pick a fight, and the evidence is hardly flimsy, as you will see. Ha! I should have known that you and I are destined to fight it out at the very end. It would appear that way. Well, that'll prove her innocence. Let's see what you've got, Prosecutor Edgeworth. With pleasure. My opening argument, I'll discuss the Yata-Garasu that appeared in Babel, and establish exactly who it was that Kay saw. Agent Lang, I assume you've been briefed on Kay's testimony. You mean the suspicious person in a coat that you saw? That's right. The person is one of the keys to solving this case. The person who pretended to be the Yata-Garasu. Pretended? What do you mean by that? I'll get to that in a second. But first, I want to review what Kay's mystery person did. Kay, if you could please explain to us what the person you were chasing did. Okay, you got it. I first spotted the suspicious person near the open-air stage on the Babel East side. I called out to the person, but as soon as I did, that person ran off. I thought it was rather suspicious, so I immediately gave chase. For the sake of argument, let's call this suspicious person the Yata-Garasu. Now, please tell us what happened when you chased the Yata-Garasu up to the 3rd floor. Can do. I chased the Yata-Garasu all the way up to the 3rd floor of the Babelese embassy. It was a pretty straightforward chase down the hallway until a sudden turn. Yata-Garasu disappeared around the corner, so I did my best to catch him. When I turned the corner, I saw the Yata-Garasu run into Mr. Kojin's office. I gave chase and ran into the room. But when I entered the room, it was pitch black. I couldn't see a thing. I felt something on the ground next to my foot, so I turned the light on, but then... Ah! Who was there? By the time I had turned on the lights, the Yata-Garasu had disappeared. When Kay entered the room, the person she was chasing was already gone. Why do you suppose that was, Agent Lang? What do you mean by, why do you suppose? Isn't it obvious? The person slipped through the door behind the girl under the cover of darkness. Objection! Sorry, but I know for a fact the person didn't escape through that door. Oh? And how do you know that with such certainty? That's easy. If Yata-Garasu had left through that door, they would have run right into this person. Sheena. Take that! Your answer is Sheena? Yes, because let's consider what would have happened if the Yata-Garasu had used the door. When Kay screened up on uncovering Mr. Kojin's body, the Yata-Garasu would have run right into Agent Sheena, who was in the next room over. So, Agent Sheena, would you mind telling us if you saw the suspicious person in question? No, I didn't see anyone. You see? Therefore, the Yata-Garasu could not have escaped out the door. This means that these creeps slipped out before Sheena made it to the hallway. Objection! I doubt that, as there was another person in that hallway, a certain detective. Detective Gumshoe, where were you exactly at that time? Me, sir? Well, I heard Kay's scream. I ran towards Mr. Kojin's office from the opposite direction of Agent Sheena, sir. So, Agent Lang, can you explain how someone could have eluded both of them? Even you must concede that under these circumstances, the door was not a viable route. Way to go, Mr. Edgeworth. You nailed him with just an explanation of what happened. Yes. I've eliminated one of the possible escape routes from that room. This is far from over. I need to make Agent Lang aware as well of yet another possible escape route the Yata-Garasu could have taken. I get it. So that's what you were trying to show me. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, let me guess. This is what you're trying to say, right? If the door was not a viable escape route, then there must have been another way out. Precisely. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, it's time to bust out with our revolving fireplace wall explanation, right? No, not quite yet. Huh? But why? I thought this would be a perfect time. The revolving door wall on the Babelese side is known only to 4 people. And if we use this information unwisely, the truth may escape us in the end. What's with all the whispering over there? Scared I'll figure out your tactics. Nothing of the sort, Agent Lang. Come, let's continue where we left off. That smug, haughty attitude of yours really rubbed me the wrong way, you know that? Well, no matter. I figured out you out already anyway. The only possible escape route besides the door is the room's lone window. And since the eerie picture of said escape route exists, I think this photo captures the moment of the Yata-Garasu's escape. Detective Bad must have filled him out of this photo. Not to admit that at first I thought the window to be a possible escape route as well. However, I know that to be impossible. I realize you may not know this, but Humans can't fly. Of course I know that. That's bloody common sense. Besides, I never thought that the photo could be of the Autogrosso's escape route. I suppose not. Alright then, explain yourself. The shadow in this photo is not the Autogrosso that Kay was chasing.
Not so fast!
You can say whatever you like in whatever language you want. But there's only one language I really understand. The language of evidence. Very well then. Do you have proof that the person Kay saw is not the same as the one in this photo? Let's see. This. Yeah.
Take that!
Nope. Fuck. Got it wrong. Alright, let's see. You know what Detective Bad told me about when this photo was taken. Oh, it was during the 4th floor. That's right. Yeah, so it couldn't have been the one Kay, because it was during the 2nd fire.
Take that!
Let me explain to you precisely why the shadow in the photo is not the Autogarasu Kay saw. Kay spotted the Autogarasu heading for the 3rd floor during the 2nd fire. However, the photo in question was taken just after the 1st fire. Yeah, way to go. That's twice you bit him in the butt now.
Not so fast!
We're not done yet. You still have to explain what that shadow is, and how the Autogarasu escaped. I don't suppose you can answer both, can you? Regarding the photo, I admit that we don't understand what it means quite yet. Ha, as I thought. However, the Autogarasu's escape route? Now that I can answer. How you can? Well then, Mr. Prosecutor, go on, enlighten me.
Hold it!
You know, by explaining, I'm trying to find some flaw with what I have to say. You were busy heading up the Alabaston investigation, right? In that case, I doubt you have much knowledge of the Babylese side of the case. So wouldn't it be best if the lead on that side, Agent Sheena, explained in my stead? Sheena is my subordinate. If I don't stick up for her, how can I look her in the eyes and call myself her boss? Lang, it's alright. I can take care of him. Sheena, you've shielded me a lot as my boss. But it's time for me to prove my worth. Alright, you're okay with it, then you have my support. Finally, it's down to just Agent Sheena and myself. This is where the battle really begins. Now then, what is it you'd like to ask? Let's see. Why don't we start with your movements inside the Babylese embassy? During the first Babylese fire, I assisted in putting out the fire. During the second fire, I was searching for the Autogarasu that had appeared in Babel. While I was searching, I heard a scream coming from the next room over. Although I was in the next room, I was unable to catch a glimpse of the Autogarasu. To be honest, I'm actually very skeptical that the girl's Autogarasu even exists. Thank you, Sena. I appreciate it. That's all I have to say. But I'm not lying when I say I saw the suspicious person right into Mr. Coach's office. Like I said earlier, I have no intention of retracting my testimony. Good. Just to confirm, did you have a partner when you were on your investigation? No, I moved alone. In that case, you have no one to corroborate your alibi. Is that correct?
Not so fast!
Are you calling her suspicious because she was in a room by herself? How pathetic. And it wasn't when Agent Sheena tried to arrest Kay under the same rationale. And how about when you accuse Larry because he was the weapon's owner? Most of these unexpected possessions use the sub to get into such a situation. Also, I suppose it's never a good idea to let mistakes go uncorrected. I'll make no excuse for what I did in that situation. And you should go apologize right now for making Kay out to be the killer, pal. I'm sorry. She not apologize. I'm sorry. It's really okay. I mean, I'm not under suspicion anymore. Right, Mr. Edgeworth? Well, I never doubted you. Not for 1 second. And the same goes for me. I believe in Sheena. Then let's put that to the test and see if she really is worthy of your trust. This promises to be interesting. I don't like the smile she gives every once in a while. That's kind of red flaggy. The first bad boy's fire, I assisted in putting out the fire, which I learned before, yeah. See out the fire extinguishing effort? I was in charge of the police on the Ballet side, so I helped them with their work. Police doing the job of firemen. They really know how to work people. She sure does. That's because she's one awesome woman who knows how to manage. I guess so. She's always bringing you a business card or a scroll just the right time. To prepare it for everything before I'm ordered to. That is the definition of a secretary. She kind of seems more capable than Agent Lang, doesn't she? At the very least, she is certainly more capable than you, Detective. Oh, I kind of had a feeling you were going to say that. Sheena is more than just capable secretary, you know. Sheena, tell him what the other things you're good at. All right. During the second fire, I was searching for the Yanagarasu that appeared in Babel.
Hold it!
I knew he was going to catch a stray there. By the second fire, you mean the one that consumed the third floor of Babel, right? Yes, that was when the suspicious person was spotted in Babel. You were after the same person in the long coat I was after. There is no proof that the suspicious person was really the Yanagarasu, because no one was able to get a good look at the person's face. By the way, how was your team's investigation? In order to extinguish the fire, water was pumped into the third floor via the windows. So the majority of investigators concluded their searches on the other floors. Maybe they did, but there was one person who was wandering about lost on the third floor. When the fire was pretty much out, I moved to investigate the third floor. And you did that alone? Yes. Searching, I heard a scream.
Hold it!
So you were in the room next to Mr. Cochin's office. I already told you who I was earlier, as I was examining the neighboring room. I heard the girl's shrill scream. Upon hearing her, I immediately ran towards Mr. Cochin's office, wherein you proceeded to arrest her, as I recall. Yes, I did. But she was totally innocent, pal. I thought we had already cleared that up. And I thought I had already apologized for my behavior. Now, if the tenacious detective would be so kind as to be quiet. Oh. I have to agree, right now is not the time to take issue with that. Not you too, Mr. Edgeworth. What I do take issue with is the fact that you didn't see the Yanagarasu, Agent Sheena. The prosecutors of this country are all so strange. While I was in the next room, I was unable to catch a glimpse of the Yanagarasu.
Hold it!
You were unable to catch even a glimpse despite being in the next room. Is that true? I really hate to repeat myself. I'm sorry for inconveniencing you. However, I simply wish to make sure that you are not misremembering something. We wouldn't want you to be accused of lying later on, would we? Hey, Mr. Prosecutor. Are you calling Sheena's testimony a lie? Agent Lang, I'm talking with Agent Sheena right now. So I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't interrupt us with the superfluous comments. You know, I kind of feel bad for him. I understand his pain at watching one of his subordinates being accused. However, I cannot turn my eyes from the truth. Lang, I am alright. And as for you, I think you should be focusing on your doubts of on that girl rather than me. And why is that? To be honest, I'm actually very skeptical that the girl's Yanagarasu even exists.
Hold it!
Are you throwing Kay's words into doubt again? Well, she does claim to be the Yanagarasu, right? And she did try to chase the Yatagarasu, despite being just an average citizen. Actually, she came here with the goal of capturing the fake Yatagarasu. That's right, which is why I would never lie about anything related to the Yatagarasu. I suppose you have proof of that somewhere? Not quite, but even without any, I have people who believe in me, and that's enough. I see. Kay's testimony is without flaw, but as for yours, well, let's just say that I find your testimony to be a bit suspicious. There seems to be a very large flaw in her testimony. Although, why don't you show her using what we found out with Little Thief? I will in due time. Escape out of the Yatagarasu that Kay was in pursuit of. It turns out to be that it really does lead right to... If it turns out that it really does lead right into Agent Shina, then what is it she's keeping to us right now? So... let's get that.
Objection!
Being in the room next to Mr. Cochin's office is the problem with your testimony.
Not so fast!
Mr. Prosecutor, I don't see what problem you're talking about at all. Agent Lang, do you remember the secret we discovered in the Alabastion office fireplace? Huh? Oh, you mean how it connects to the office with the room next door? What about it? Well, Alabast is the only country with secret connecting fireplaces. What? The fireplace in Mr. Cochin's office holds the exact same secret. What? The Yatagarasu didn't escape through the door to the room or the window. The escape route was through the revolving fireplace wall and into the next room over. Now do you see? If the Yatagarasu had escaped into the next room, then the thief would have run straight into Agent Shina. Meaning that it's impossible for her to have missed the Yatagarasu. What is the meaning of these miles? Well, would you care to explain, Agent Shina, how you managed to completely miss the fleeing Yatagarasu, or shall I? You claim that you were in the next room was a lie. You claim that you were in the next room was a lie all along, wasn't it? The truth is, you were the one Kay saw in the coat. Pretending to be the Yatagarasu, you were the one she chased after. When you tried to lose her, you ran to Mr. Cochin's office and then headed to the fireplace. Then you shed your coat in the next room, leaving it there to emerge as Agent Shina. After that, you came around to place Kay under arrest. Does that sound about right? If not, then speak now or forever hold your peace. How dare you make Kay look like the bad guy when you're the suspicious one, pal? Here it comes. I'm calling it right now. This is where a reveal is. There it is. I knew it. I fucking called that shit. That left. Called it. I remember that irritating laugh. I'm getting chills down my spine. It can't be, but it has to be. Shina, what's wrong with you? I'm sorry. It was so funny that I couldn't help but laugh. Funny, you say? Yes, they would accuse me of being the Yatagarasu. The prosecutors of this country really are so very strange. You think you can get away with this by simply laughing it off? Think I'm taking things too lightly? I think not. I think that prosecutor is. Who is? Look, everything you said earlier is nothing more than mere speculation. The Yatagarasu fled through the fireplace. Do you have any proof to back up your claim? If you don't, then you haven't proven a thing regarding the Yatagarasu's escape route. The tone of your voice, you're talking with me now, has certainly changed.
Penis, 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 penis,
Thank you, boys.
penis.
It's because it's been a while since I've had this much fun. I think I'll let loose and let's see if we can have a real battle of wits. We're an agent of Interpol to show me the true power of her mind. It is a great honor. Don't underestimate me. I'm not some foolish broad, you know. I know. And that's why I won't hold anything back either as I answer your question. My question? Your proof that the revolving fireplace wall in battle was used recently. Was it Mr. Yeah, it was Mr. Polino's test.
Take that!
I'm sorry, but this is really your honest answer to my question? Yes. According to Ambassador Polino's testimony, he said that he was burning some documents. That was an amazing time. I know, right? Burning some documents in the fireplace with Mr. Kochin. Oh. The ashes of what they burned were left in the fireplace, so they should have been there. However, when we went to investigate the room, the ashes weren't there. And why is that a problem? Maybe someone cleaned them up.
Objection!
Unfortunately for you, Ambassador Polino said that he forgot to. And so the question remains, why were the ashes missing? The answer is simple. When the Yatagarasu went through the fireplace wall, the ashes were pulled into the next room by the wall as well. The movement of the ashes that were in Mr. Kochin's office is my proof. And just what is so funny? Ashes proof. Are you even allowed to submit such flaky evidence in court? You wish to fight us? Of course, why wouldn't I? In that case, let's see your counter-argument. My counter-argument, huh? This really is just like being in court. Oh, to me, we're simply continuing from where we left off all those years ago. I have no idea what you're talking about. Doesn't matter if we're at a crime scene or in court. Let's finish this here and now. I suppose. I've had a lot of fun today, but I grow weary of this game and cat and mouse. Let's make this the last testimony and wrap this up. Let's wrap up this absurd case once and for all. In my eyes, all you prove is that the rotating fireplace wall was used. But you can't really call that proof that the Yatagarasu used the fireplace, did you? Can you? So then, who was it that used the rotating wall? Show me your answer with real evidence. Remember, we've already finished our very thorough investigation. We found not a single suspicious thing in Mr. Kochin's office. And there you go. And there you have it. My counter-argument. That's very impressive. She has seen through the fact that I have yet to gather one piece of evidence. What is it, Kay? I haven't heard a peep out of you in quite a while. If you don't think you can handle it, feel free to leave the rest to us. But Kay, pull yourself together. You are the true heir to the Yatagarasu name, are you not? If you want to steal the truth, then you must never take your eyes off of it. The chase you're running to catch the truth. You must see it through to the very end. Mr. Edgeworth, you're right. I will see this through to the end. So, you go get her for me, Mr. Edgeworth. With pleasure. Looks like a lack of evidence has left you wide open, doesn't it? Sheena, please. Show me you're someone I can trust. Don't worry. This will be the deciding match. You'll see. Truly sorry, Agent Link, but I simply cannot allow her to escape me again. Very well then, Agent Sheena. Shall we begin? I'm ready whenever you are. As all you prove is that the rotating fireplace wall was used.
Hold it!
It sounds to me like you're saying my explanation is not good enough. But I was able to go through that revolving door myself. So that should be proof enough, even for you, pal. Huh, looks like you don't quite understand. But by your looks, I guess you not all that learned. Now, talk about rude. You should watch what you say, pal. Sadly, I cannot say I disagree with her on that one. But you know what I mean, right? You may have proven that the fireplace was used. You can't really call that proof that the Yatagarasu used the fireplace, now can you?
Hold it!
So you want to prove that the Yatagarasu was the one who used the fireplace? That's right. Well, do you have any? You have any? Can you prove that it wasn't the Yatagarasu who used the fireplace? I don't need to prove anything to you. Oh, objection!
Hold it!
Okay, if you could please not steal my line. So, sorry, but I just couldn't hold it in anymore. No, don't fret, leave her to me. All you have to do is sit back and watch. You may seem to have some wiggle room, but without any evidence, it's meaningless. So then, who was it that used the rotating wall? Show me your answer with real evidence.
Hold it!
It's possible that the Yatagarasu left fingerprints inside the fireplace. Sorry, but I had the forensics team check that already. All they found were prints belonging to Ambassador Polino and Mr. Kochin. Curse this. I should have known better than to think the Yatagarasu would have been so careless. there must be some sort of evidence that we still have yet to find. I take it you have no further objections? Remember, we finished our very thorough investigation.
Hold it!
So Interpol has finished examining the entire Babylonis embassy? Yes, the investigators who were allowed into the Alvast were incredibly helpful. They all put in a great effort to search for any signs of Diadokarasi.
Objection!
And yet, despite all that effort, it appears that they failed to notice the lack of ash in the office fireplace. Furthermore, you are the one who inspected the room next to Mr. Cochin's, correct? I didn't notice the ash in the fireplace of that room, and for that, I'm sorry. Uplinks, thank you for 5 gifted subs. We're only 5 away now from our Poppy Playtime playthrough. Thank you again, buddy. I appreciate it. You don't need to apologize, Sheena. As your boss, your mistakes are my mistakes. So allow me to apologize for you. I'm sorry. You know, maybe this guy's not such a bad guy after all. He apologizes for his subordinate and everything. What a great boss. Are you saying that I don't do anything for my own subordinates? No, nothing of the sort, sir. You're someone I really respect, sir. Even if you are a bit too strict sometimes. This is only a problem on your end. Wow, way to be super hard on him in response. We're really too strict on everyone. Anyway, Sheena, you didn't find anything in Mr. Cochin's office, right? That's right. We finished our investigation. We found not a single suspicious thing in Mr. Cochin's office.
Hold it!
So you really didn't find anything? Yes, as I said, not one suspicious thing. Although, as you already know, we did find the Diadokarasu's key and the document detailing the smuggling operation. We still haven't found the blade that belongs to the Babylonis knife handle yet. Ah, you see, my subordinates worked hard to investigate everything. So there was nothing else to find, right? Wow, Agent Lang really sticks up for his people. Like she says, all men are brothers, and friends become family. So you see, my people are my family, and their families are my family too. That's a rather large family you have. Yes, but we all know there's always one black sheep in any family. And although it pains me, Agent Lang, you will know the black sheep in your family. So, do you actually have any proof of that the Diadokarasu used the fireplace passageway? No, I haven't found any yet. Then what are we going to do? There's no need to worry, because there is a loophole in this Interpol agent's argument we can exploit first. The one in charge of the Babylonis investigation was not Agent Lang, which means that with Agent She not in charge, it's possible she may have tampered with the evidence. That piece of evidence we found. If there's one thing I do know is that someone tried to hide it from us. Let's see, someone tried to... Oh, the cable. With the cable.
Objection!
Well, you say that you and your agents have finished your thorough investigation. Are you absolutely certain that you didn't overlook anything? Well, I'm full of surprises standing there insulting Interpol agents. You better not be insinuating that my men are incompetent, Mr. Prosecutor. I'd never do that. However, it doesn't change the fact that they did overlook something. I'd like for you to take a look at this length of wire. Yeah, what exactly is this supposed to mean? A length of wire. So what about it? I'll tell you what. We found this in the Babylonis embassy not long ago. What? And we found it wound up inside the grandfather clock in Mr. Cochin's office. You found that? That's the scene of Mr. Cochin's murder. But this wire wasn't all we found. We found one of the other very important things. There's more? In Mr. Cochin's office, there were signs that someone had burned counterfeit bills there. What is a... Yeah... That evidence was something you found out through the girl's machine, right? So what if it was? Ah, that's what I thought. But unfortunately for you, a recreation made by a machine is hardly concrete proof. Among the ashes you found in the room, did you happen to find any counterfeit bills? No. You see, so there was nothing in that office. Nothing you can call evidence anyway.
Objection!
I'm sorry, but you seem to have given the wrong impression. I seem to have given you the wrong impression. How so? I don't recall saying that I was presenting evidence of any sort. Or rather, I was pointing out that your investigation was incomplete. And that this throws doubt on the purity of your investigation into the Yatagarasu. You still suspect me, I see. Alright then, I ask you point out what part of my investigation is incomplete. Interpol agents worked under the command of Agent Shina, and it's not possible that the reason the person K was chasing chose the third floor was because that person knew there would be no other agents on that floor. Furthermore, we'd come to see that Agent Shina was only pretending to be investigating the Yatagarasu to the point of arresting K. In that case, there's one location that no one has yet to inspect. Your team's investigation was incomplete because they failed to inspect this location.
Take that!
The location, Agent Shina, is of course the room you claim to have examined. I believe the room next to Mr. Kochin's office warrants a thorough inspection. Even if you do that, I doubt you'll find anything of use that you're there. I'll be the one to decide that. Detective Gumshoe. Yes, sir. I'm on it. I'll be right back after I check out the room next to the office. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, do you really think that Miss Shina's the Yatagarasu? Yes, if my logic is sound, I believe she is. Then I'm not going to let her get away with ruining the name of the Yatagarasu. But you can still prove she's the Yatagarasu in question. Detective Gumshoe can find what I'm hoping he will find, then I should be able to. And just what's you hoping he will find? I'll just say this, I had Detective Gumshoe do a little experiment for me earlier. An experiment? As if that detective brains for high science has brains for high science. Should be having ads here in just a moment here. Don't want to go any farther with the ads going on. Just a minute. Like I said, I don't want to go any further without letting the ads play. So we don't want to miss anything. I kind of let them a little bit far ahead last time when we had to the ads. I don't want to go any farther. There we are. Cool. We got 2 minutes going on now. Time to rest the voice and drink some water. I hope everyone is enjoying the new subscriptions. I thank everybody for gifting them and everything as well. We're still only 5 away. 5 away from finishing off everything. Seconds and we'll be back to proving our little proving everything. It's been a really great birthday. I appreciate everyone hanging out. I appreciate everyone stopping by and saying hi and happy birthday. It really makes me feel nice. Alright, welcome back everybody. Let's continue going forward. It wasn't that mentally taxing. I had to use the same escape route as the Atagarasu. And what did you find out by doing such? First, that it's possible for a person to fit through the revolving wall door. Secondly, that by going through there, his coat was covered in ash and Babyliss ink. Guess what his coat is covered in? It's not that much anyway. Ah, but it's really worth so little. I believe that it's actually quite a meaningful result, the value of which I'm about to prove. Mr. Edgeworth, I found some things you really need to see, sir. Oh, so what are these things that you found? Some makeup, a coat, and a pair of shoes, sir. You found a coat? I hear that Mr. Edgeworth. Maybe it's the one the person I was chasing was wearing. Yes, the possibility does exist. Agent Sheena, were these pieces of evidence not in the room when you examined it? Unfortunately for you, those aren't suspicious items of any sort. They all belong to me. They were getting in the way, so I stored them in that room. Aw, thank you for bringing them to me. It saves me a trip. I have them back now.
Hold it!
These items that the detective brought back are incredibly significant. I request that we be allowed to examine them. They're my personal belongings, so you have no right to touch them without my permission.
Objection!
I wish to examine them for the sake of the investigation. But if you wish to deny us access to them, Agent Lang, let's hear your opinion on this. I'd say, let them look at your stuff, Sheena. Lang? Sheena, let's put it all out in the open. If you're really innocent, then you have nothing to worry about, right? I guess so. Alright, go ahead and examine whatever you'd like. After all, I have nothing to hide. Good, now let us begin. Agent Sheena's belongings are you going to examine, sir? What's that? Are you going to examine, sir? Let's look at the coat. Let's examine the coat. Yes, sir. It appears you managed to stain your coat rather badly. Agent Sheena. The Atagarasu that Kay saw was wearing a coat, and I'm beginning to wonder if this stain wasn't created when you went through the fireplace. No, you have it wrong. It says it probably got on my coat when I was helping the police put out the fire. What about this dark substance around the hem of your coat? Oh, I didn't realize the hem was that dirty. Sure, it's just some water mixed with soot from when I was helping with the fire. I don't think so. You think you can get away with such a transparent lie? Yeah, don't lie to us, pal. This is the same pattern of dirt that got on my coat when I went through the fireplace. Your words ring hollow in the absence of evidence, you know. So unless you can prove that the dirt on my coat is from the fireplace, which I can. What? How? You did a great job, Detective Gumshoe. Huh? Me, sir? What did I do? This coat. This is exactly the piece of evidence I was searching for.
Penis, 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 penis.
Thank you. I had been hoping to find the coat that the person Kay saw was wearing. And thanks to you, it proved that going through the fireplace would sully a coat. I don't quite get what you're saying, but I'm happy for the praise, sir. All that remains is for us to show what the dark substance on the coat hem is. Oh, and you happen to think you can do that? Of course I can. This is the dark substance that sullied the hem of this coat. The Babyliss ink.
Take that!
Babyliss ink? Yes, this is what I will prove the coat went through that fireplace. According to the Ambassador Poleno, he burned some files in the fireplace this morning. You told us about that already. I don't really see the point in mentioning it again. My point is that he spilled some ink onto the back wall of the fireplace at that time. If the dark substance on this coat turns out to be Babyliss ink, it would prove that you and this coat went through the revolving fireplace wall. Ack. Sorry to have clipped one of your wings, Yatagarasu, but we're not finished yet. But you have no way of proving whether or not this is Babyliss ink on the coat hem. Oh, but I do, and I intend to show that it is ink in a few seconds. How? How do you ask? Well, since you don't seem to know, allow me to show you. This is our proof that the dark substance on the coat is Babyliss ink. Let's burn it. You can find out whether this Babyliss ink or not by lighting it on fire. That's how you're going to prove that it's Babyliss ink? Yes, if you could please cut a section of the dark stained area for me, I'd appreciate it. Because I will show you here and now that what the dark substance is. Sheena, sorry to do this, but I'm going to have to cut off a bit of your coat. Go ahead. I wasn't planning on wearing it anymore anyway. Now then, if someone could loan me a lighter or something. Oh, I've got some matches. I always carry them with me so I can light smoke bombs. Then, if I could please have one, Kate, we can get this experiment underway. It's a flame. It's the same color as the flames white crystal oil produces, which means Babyliss ink is the product of white crystal oil. When lit, the ink produces a green flame. I believe the time has come to clip the Yatagarasu's other wing. Miss Sheena, you're the fake Yatagarasu, the one who killed my father. It's about time you came clean, Agent Sheena, or should I say, Callisto you. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, you're not serious, are you? Do I look like the joking type to you? Callisto you. I've never heard that name before in my life. Such manner of speaking and such attitude. You haven't changed a bit in 7 years. You're the defense attorney that killed Mr. Faraday and then tried to frame me for it. Oh, really? And do you have proof? You insist that I'm this Callisto you woman, but you can't prove it. You have no proof, and I'm afraid you won't be able to say a single finger on me.
Objection!
The raven is a very unique bird, one that flies by the darkness of night. However, the light of the dawn has arrived, and it will reveal your true ugly form to the world. Enough poetry. I want to see some evidence. Do you really have something that can prove that she is Callisto you? I do. Something that the second Yatagarasu has preserved for us the last 7 years. Do me the honor, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm okay, but we have finally come to the end. We'll prove the Callisto you with this and clip the Yatagarasu's wings for good.
Take that!
This perfume. This will prove that you to be Callisto you. I will. Kay has preserved it perfectly for us. Surely you remember this bottle. This belonged to Miss Yu just before she disappeared 7 years ago. Naturally, this means that a few of her fingerprints are on here as well. This is that bottle of perfume you spilled, which I have preserved ever since. I heard from my father, Bern Faraday, that if stored under the right conditions, a fingerprint can be preserved for decades. Which means that your fingerprints are still on here, every last one. We can clear everything up if we were to compare the things in this to your own. Now come, Agent Sheena, will you submit yourself to a fingerprint test? And red flags and balance blades. There you go. There's your type. Right there for you, buddy. Looks like you've seen right through me yet again. You're sending the biggest chill down my spine, Edgeworth. Callisto, you. So you've shown your true face at last. Did I make the same joke? This feeling of thrill, it's even greater than that time 7 years ago. Sheena, you're... Lang, I really enjoyed our days together. You're an insanely strong, nice, kind-hearted idiot of a man. So you were a spy all along? A mole sent by the smuggling ring I've been chasing after. Someone who has been feeding them intel on Interpol all this time? Very good. If you're not as big of an idiot as I thought. An eye to the helmet she's wearing. Callisto you, the woman who killed my father 7 years ago. You're her, aren't you? The fake Yatagarasu. That's right, Callisto you. That's just one of my many names. But even that is just a facade. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am the great thief Yatagarasu. Callisto you, this time you won't escape, for this is the end of the road for you. Now come along quietly. You know, you're the one who left the strongest impression on me, Kay Faraday. And had you not used the Yatagarasu's gadgets, I might have never known who you were. But here you are, being a thorn on my side, just like your father always was. Kay, don't! You, I'll never forgive you for what you did to my father. Pfft, you really are just like him. Mr. Faraday, too, possessed such a laughable honesty. And idiot. Kay! Gumshoe! You let Kay go right now, pal. You're despicable. Let me go, you filthy... You think I'm a fake, don't you? Well, unfortunately for you, I'm the real Yatagarasu. But that's impossible. My father was the one who created the little thief. Hey, Edgeworth. The Yatagarasu has 3 legs. Do you know why that is? Why it has 3 legs? There are 3 main reasons the Yatagarasu will always be one step ahead. First, the Yatagarasu always knows the exact location of the target object. Second, the Yatagarasu always knows exactly how to disarm the security system. No, it can't be. Did you finally figure it out? Do you finally know the real identity of the Yatagarasu? The real identity of the Yatagarasu is... Neither of you. Yatagarasu is neither Burn Faraday nor Callisto Yu. By the same token, they are also both the real Yatagarasu. How very perceptive of you. No way! A single person known as the Great Thief Yatagarasu never existed. Mr. Edgeworth? No, I refuse to believe this. The Yatagarasu is known to have 3 special skills. Skill number 1. The Yatagarasu always knows the exact location of the target object. And the lawyer would have the opportunity to learn the layout of client corporations. Second, skill number 2. The Yatagarasu always knows exactly how to disarm a security system. And a good prosecutor would be well versed in the ways of a criminal. And skill number 3. The Yatagarasu doesn't leave a single shred of evidence behind, ever. Detective Bad. It was only natural for the Yatagarasu to never leave evidence behind, because the lead detective on the case hid it all away. You're the 3rd member of the Yatagarasu? You. I've been looking for you a long time. 7 long years. But I finally got you. Why, Mr. Bad, long time no see. What happened to us? We used to be such a great team. If you were such a great team, then why did you kill my father 7 years ago? Why, indeed. It was nothing personal, really. It was just another person I had to kill. How can you say that? I grew weary of this, and it's about time for everything to come to an end. And this time, I won't miss. Stop! You! Kay! It's over. It's over, Sheena. Your leg! Agent Lang. Urgh. You idiot. Why were you thinking jumping in front of my gun like that? What are you risking your life for? I'm sorry, Detective Bad, but no matter what sort of past she may have had, or even if she is a spy, it doesn't change the fact that she is my subordinate. As long as she is, I can't allow any harm to come to her, not even from you. You really are an idiot, you know that? Ha! That's fine with me. You should know by now that this is just how I am. Hey, sis. Yes? I want you to conduct a full body search. Sheena might have another weapon on her. All right. Detective Gumshoe, your assistance, please. Sir. Hey, I found something. What is this? It looks like the blade of a knife, but it doesn't have a handle. This is the Great Find Detective. Huh? Is it, sir? Let's try pairing this up with the blade. Pairing this blade up with the handle.
Take that!
I believe this blade actually belongs with the handle that was on the murder weapon. Alright, they fit together perfectly. This blade must have been taken from the crime scene when the knife handles were switched. I'm going to go return this Babalese knife now. Alright, I trust that you'll make sure that it is returned to Ambassador Poleno. I believe this makes it perfectly clear who did it. Callisto Yu. But the only time the handles could have been switched is just after Mr. Cochin's murder. Which means that you must be Mr. Cochin's killer. You killed Mr. Cochin with the alabaster knife. Switched the handles and then took the original blade of the Babalese knife with you. Later, you allowed yourself to be spotted by Kay near the open-air stage. You used the fireplace to lose her, and then you went back to accuse her of the murder. Does that about sum it up?
Objection!
You cracked an engaging tale, Mr. Edgeworth. But there are 2 problems with it. Problems? In what respect? What do you think my real reason was in allowing her to chase after me? Pfft. It was all so I could capture Kay Faraday. What? When I saw you using that device at Gatewaterland, I knew right away that you were Burn Faraday's daughter. I became curious, so I researched a little into your background. That's how I found out that you were on the trail of the Yatagarasu. So that's why you tried to pin Mr. Cochin's murder on me. Yes. I knew you would show up at this embassy tonight. So I thought to use you, but pinning the murder on you wasn't my only goal. You had another? Yes. Once I had you under arrest, I had planned to search you. And take back the device that rightfully belongs to me, the true Yatagarasu. You were going to take the little thief away from me? 7 years ago, it was thanks to that device that Faraday was able to infiltrate this place. But he stole more than he should have. I had a tough time recovering that precious key. Then the person who stole the Atagarasu's key was Mr. Faraday. You had an incident 7 years ago. What was the catalyst behind it? In the eyes of the smuggling ring, the Atagarasu was becoming a bit of a problem. It wasn't an especially pleasant assignment. Then why? Why did you become a member of the Atagarasu? Why? There is no why. I was destined to betray everyone from the very beginning. From the beginning? What is that supposed to mean? The person I take orders from hasn't changed, even now to this day. Does this mean that the leader of the smuggling ring wasn't Mr. Kochin? Then the real ringleader is still out there pulling the strings. Are you done asking why you don't need to know? Because if so, we should probably get going. And you're going to tell me everything you did tonight. Do you understand, Sheena? I guess I should tell you then that I was the one who set the Babylones embassy on fire. And why did you do that? I suppose it was to destroy all evidence of the counterfeit bills. Then was that the smuggling ring was trying to do? But then why start 2 fires? Sorry, but I can't tell you anything about the ring. It's your job to complete your investigation after all. I've had my fun. Now it's your turn to enjoy the ride. Wait, Miss Sheena. Yes? When I fell to the floor earlier, these fell at my feet. What about them? They're such pretty hair sticks that I thought, well, that I should return them to you. You can have them. They're of no use to me anymore. If you don't want them, you can always just throw them away. No, I want to keep them. Suit yourself. Oh, that's right. I almost forgot, Edgeworth. About the second problem I had with your story? I didn't kill anyone tonight. What? I'm not saying that as a sore loser. Think of it as a hint, if you will. Mr. Prosecutor. Yes, Agent Lang. Mark my words, I'm not done here, and I'll be back. And it's got nothing to do with duty or anything, because this has become my personal case. I may have been shot, but I'll show you just how dangerous a wounded wolf can be. Appears to negate the sensation of pain in his injured leg. It's finally over, Kay. I feel like I peered into her heart a little, you know? And it's so cold and dark. It's incredibly lonely. The person who was always giving her all those commands. The one who thought my father was a problem to be removed. That person is the real ringleader behind the smuggling ring. Mr. Edgeworth, I have a favor to ask. Can you hold on to these hair sticks for me? They're really pretty, just like the ones they were selling in for the Gem and Ninja Ship. But until this case is over, I don't think I can look at them without being overcome. I understand. I'll take good care of them for you. There's a bit of soil stuck on the ends of these sticks. Oh, I get it. I guess it's that time already, huh? So it's midnight. It's the dawn of another day. Hey, Pops, thanks a bunch. You've really done a lot for everyone all these years. Detective Bad, don't tell me today is the day. Yeah, it is. With this, I can retire in peace. It was down to the wire, and we almost didn't make it. But we did it, and we solved everything. But that's just it. We haven't solved everything yet. The ringleader of the smuggling ring, the Atagarasu we're chasing after. The legend of the Atagarasu is now over. Mr. Edgeworth, that bit of logic earlier, it was brilliant. I feel like I can leave it all in your hands. I'm counting on you. Is it really true, Uncle Bad? Are you also part of the Atagarasu? As I said to you earlier, Kay, I'm truly sorry. I wanted nothing but a peaceful life for you. Uncle Bad. Hey, don't take it so seriously. It's all just one big joke, right? Unfortunately, it isn't. Oh, come on, sir. She's just shaking my shade, isn't she, Mr. Edgeworth? Detective Bad. Wait, no, you are no longer a detective. Mr. Bad, I'd like to ask you about the Atagarasu. Not you too, Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth. Here, I should give these back to you. These are the pages from my KG case files that the Atagarasu stole from my office. Huh? Wait, what? Mr. Edgeworth, I must apologize for last night. So the Atagarasu who stole into my room was you, was it? Wait, and that means what? Tell me it's not true. That's too insane for me to believe, sir. It's true, even if it's not something you want to hear. The KG8 incident, it was a very emotional, trying case. We stood in that courtroom, Faraday as the prosecutor, and I as the lead detective. Faraday had evidence in his possession that would prove the defendant guilty. However, because it was stolen, the defendant was found innocent. You was the elder sister of the victim in the case. When the defendant was pronounced not guilty, she let out a great wail. That's when we realized that there was a limit to what the law could do. The only way to bring someone like that to justice was to do so outside of the courts. That's what we thought at the time. That's how we formed the Yatagarasu and vowed to bring to light any dirty dealings company had with the ring, including companies that dealt with the Amano group. Mr. Amano's conglomerate? We called ourselves the Yatagarasu and flexed our collective muscle. We exposed all sorts of shady dealings as a warning for the business world as a whole. By doing that, we were able to stop the higher-ups from covering things up. And then, it was finally time. We had finally arrived at the moment when we'd find out the ringleader's true identity. It was then that you literally stabbed us in the heart. Faraday, he died for it. But why? Was she the sister of the victim in the AG8 incident? After Faraday's death, I looked into her past. And that's when I found out that she was a phony. The victim of the KG8 incident, CCU? She never had a sister. What? Then that means She-Na wasn't the only fake name she used. Callisto Munu is also a pseudonym. At the very beginning, that woman was a spy sent by the smuggling ring. She said it herself. I was destined to betray everyone from the beginning. Anyway, let's return to the real topic at hand. Mr. Edgeworth, this trump card that we stuck onto this page of the case file. Please use it wisely. Trump card. The photo that we stuck on there. Try peeling it off. Behind it slumbers a piece of evidence that Faraday hid away all those years ago. It's the mark of the Yatagarasu. But why? This is a directives card from the big boss. Take a good look at the back. This was something Cochin had on him at the time of the KG8 incident 10 years ago. That blood is from the victim of the incident, Miss CCU. Why is the card adorned with the mark of the Yatagarasu? The reason why we called ourselves the Yatagarasu was because of the three-legged raven mark on that smuggling ring's boss used. Apparently, orders from the boss would come on these cards without fail. The person who received that order was supposed to burn it immediately after reading it. But apparently, it burns a bright green flame when set ablaze. Seeming the cards were written in Babyliss ink. The fact that the card at Cochin was sent made it into Faraday's hand at all is nothing short of a miracle. We decided that when we stole anything, we would send a card along with it to the police. That's what those are white cards are. The great thief that used the mark that only those within the ring would know. It was our message to the ringleader that we were only a few steps behind. And one more thing, Detective Gumshoe. I'm entrusting this to you. What is this, sir? This is what I was talking about earlier. During the KG8 incident trial, Faraday had this in his possession. This important, definitive piece of evidence. But I thought it was stolen. How do you have it? The person who stole it from us 10 years ago was a man by the name of Ernest Amano, and he had it locked and hidden away for all this time. We forced him to tell us where it was finally, after the other day's kidnapping case. This video. Don't come any closer, I'm warning you! This is the same video as the one Mr. Portsman was trying to conceal from me. And it would seem that even he was caught up in the ring's web. Amano was preparing to take on the boss someday, and the video was his insurance. That's where the prosecutor comes in. He was to retrieve that video. On top of that, he was apparently instructed to sneak into your office and steal the trump card. You saw it for yourself, right? A card that told him to preserve the evidence. Then, that card was not the calling card of the Yatagarasu, but rather a directives card from the ringleader to Mr. Portsmouth. The two pieces together make for a strong weapon for whoever holds them. The evidence Mr. Portsmouth thought to withhold from me, and the one that you stole from my office last night. Both pieces are illegal for me to use. Either one is. Whether you use them or not is up to you. But they will be of help to you when you take on someone who is above the law. Is it possible one of these someone who cannot be brought into court? Mr. Faraday talked of? Detective Ben, there's no limit to the law for the people who determine the limits to them. You still insist that, even now, you really are something else. I'll leave the rest in your hands. Now then, Detective Gumshoe, the handcuffs. It's time to lock up the last remaining member of the Yatagarasu. Bobs, don't ever lose your detective spirit. Bobs, why is this happening? Oh, this isn't justice. Like I always told you, do not get emotionally involved. Now, let's go. Yes, sir. Is this really the end of the legend? Can I examine this? Actually watch this? AGA incident. This was the case in which the unwitting CCU was murdered, and she was exposed to the connection between the Amano group and the smuggling ring. It was also when the group, the Yatagarasu, was first formed. Are the events of this case connected to that case from 7 years ago somehow? This blood belongs to Detective Faith, who was killed in my office by Mr. Portsmouth. Sadly, it would appear that he was partnered with anyone but a good prosecutor. Okay. Things are really kicking off. So we know that who the Yatagarasu really was, and yet there remains much to this case that needs to be resolved. Like how the weapons cross country lines, for example. The two countries have incredibly strict security systems and entry procedures. Short of a miracle, it's impossible for someone to have smuggled them in. Smuggling them in, huh? We need to open a new line of investigation on this, just this aspect alone. Before we do, I'd like to go through my evidence once more. This evidence has been removed, remaining evidence has been rearranged. Alright, there's a VCR here, sir. Yeah, so you have the statue, Babel's permanent, so that's the real one. The Alabastion knife, the key, that guy's dead. The water, oh, the pick is still here. The photo of the Yatagarasu, the Alabast statue, which was used to kill, the candy stripe, there's soil on them, cable, okay. Now we can see what's on the tape Director Bats gave us. This piece of evidence from the KGN incident hidden from sight for 10 long years. I just know that this is related to the current case somehow. Detective Gumshoe, if you could please play the tape for us. Sure thing, sir. It's Matty Kojin. And he's got a knife in his hand. This looks like the footage from the security camera at the entrance of an apartment building. An apartment building? How do you figure that? Unlike you, I actually read the summary file on the KG8 incident. And the crime scene was the victim's own apartment. So this footage was shot at the entrance to the victim's own apartment building. And at the trial, Mr. Faraday claims that this piece of evidence, this footage existed. However, no one could find it. Yes. Somehow someone was able to see it and hide it through Mr. Ennis Amano. I can see how this would have been a definitive piece and why someone would want to hide it. But it's just a piece of evidence from a 10-year-old case. There's no way it's related to this case we're working on now, sir. Actually, I believe it had everything to do with the case we're working on now. Their ringleader even went so far as to use Mr. Portsman to retrieve it. Which means that in this video lies a very inconvenient bit of footage to the ringleader. Where? Wait, what was that? Huh? The bit you played just now. Please show it to me again. This car. This is something we cannot overlook. Why's that, sir? Okay, Detective Gumshoe.
Take that!
This is the national flag of the Principality of Cadopia. And because it has the national flag on it, we know this has to be an official government car. But the question we should be asking ourselves is, what was a government car doing there? Ah, Mrs. von Karma and Mr. Edgeworth, so you were here all this time. Ambassador Alba, thank you very much. Thank you for continuing the investigation even at this time of night. If only I was even a tiny bit more careful. This tragedy would never have happened. I am truly sorry. This wasn't your fault, sir. It had nothing to do with how careful you were. You idiot Quercus, you couldn't chase after a simple thief. Now then, let's get down to the real reason why I came looking for the two of you. I would like you to put the investigation on hold for a while. Can you do that? Excuse me? I heard you were into the thief that turned this embassy upside down. We are in the middle of an event celebrating our country's reconciliation. We can't exactly have the police and detectives walking around here forever. You're scaring the visitors away, so I hope you can understand how I feel. We must finish our investigation and resolve the remaining issues. Why don't we leave the rest of the Albastian and Bahavalese police? Ambassador, you're so close. Just a little more and... Miss von Karma, I'm afraid I've made up my mind. And without my permission, you can't proceed with your investigation anyway, right? That is true, however. This is at the very beginning. This area can be considered to be Alabastian soil, in which case we are nothing but foreigners in their land. Is this really where our investigation ends? Shifu, we found Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Shifu, this way. Yo! Agent Lang, you're back on the scene rather quickly. If I laid back and took a break, I'd lose the scent of my prey, Mr. Prosecutor. Agent Lang, why have you returned? Because I have to solve this case no matter what. Well, I'm sorry to inform you. Don't take this the wrong way. I don't suspect you personally. However, a member of Interpol was just found to be a thief, and so... under these circumstances, I wish to put your investigation on hold. After all, I believe our own police force can handle things from here. They are quite capable. At this rate, our investigation really will come to a close. Ambassador Alba, I get it now. I really do. Oh, I'm very glad you understand how I feel. No, not that. What was I talking about is... What I'm talking about. I know who the killer is behind tonight's murder. You... No? The... Killer? Do you really mean that, Agent Lang? Wolves don't lie. Then who is it? Well, let me first say that I'm not talking about Mr. Cochin's murder. That was all Sheena. Lang Zi says, the truth lies not at the exit, but rather the shrines outside the maze itself. The truth is unexpectedly simple. So let me ask you this. Who do you think was Damask 2's killer? I'll tell you who. It was you, Franziska von Karma. I was the killer? Hey, wait, but that's impossible. Yeah, although that whip is actually quite... Yow! Hold your tongue. It's a political remark you are about to make. Agent Lang, are you seriously accusing her of murder? Yeah, I am. He doesn't appear to be joking. Hey, sis, if I remember that just before Ambassador Alba went to give his speech, he called you into his office, right? Yes, he did. But what does that have to do with anything? You didn't do that. Furthermore, in order to solve both cases, you moved around rather freely between Albast and Babel, didn't you not?
Objection!
And that is your evidence that I am the killer.
Knuckle back!
I was just getting to that. Trust me, I'll show you them to you in due time. Master Alba, in order for me to bring this case to a close, I'll need to inspect your office one more time. Will you grant me permission? With things as they are, I suppose I don't have much of a choice, do I? Good, then let's move out. Oh, and don't even think about running away, sis. My pack will be keeping a close eye on you. You can bet your bottom dollar on that. As if I would have any reason to flee. But just so we're clear, your logic had better be sound. Because Alex said nothing sort of a perfect explanation. She seems rather upset. Not that I blame her. I expected that you'd be said nothing less. We'll see how long you can keep that nose of yours stuck up in the air like that.
Hold it!
Agent Lang, as someone related to tonight's case, I request that you allow me to take part, and so that I may clean up my superior's mess. I guess I should. The more the merrier, especially when it's the peanut gallery. Oh, in that case, I'm gonna join in too. I still haven't seen what it looks like in Alabas yet. If you like carrying, then you gotta let me in too, pal. I can't sit around and do nothing when Miss Von Karma's in trouble. Hey, Gummy, let's have a competition to see who can flavor first, okay? Okay, I'll take you up on that. Oh yeah, I'm fired up and raring to go. So, Detective, I don't believe this is something you're supposed to be excited over. Sounds like this is going to get real interesting. Ambassador Alba, I'll be bringing these kids up along for the ride. Very well. But I'd like you to keep in mind that this will be your last chance. I'll have this whole mess cleaned up before you know it. Now let's go. About to have some more ads. This will be the last round of ads I'm going to be able to play tonight before I go to bed. Should be starting any moment now. There we are. Cool. I'm gonna give me a little bit of time to rest and drink my water. We are very close. Let's see if we can get the last 5 we need before the end of the stream. Man, this game really takes a lot out of my voice. I'm surprised I haven't lost it, to be fair. But losing it isn't a really big deal for my job most of the time. Although it's been a long time since I've had to deal with it. I feel like I'm tempting fate when I say that, though. I'm gonna wake up with no voice tomorrow. You watch. I know, right? I'm tempting fate. All right, welcome back, everybody. Let's keep going. Okay, now let's first go over the facts one more time. Manny Kochin's body was found over the Secretariat's office in Babel. The weapon that took his life was one of Alabast's ornamental knives. And then the body of Damask II, Mr. Kai Shino, was found here in Alabastian Ambassador's office. Through our investigation, we found that the murder weapon was his Primadel statue, and that it is actually Babel's statue. In this case, no matter how I look at it, sis, if it wasn't you, then there's no one else who could pull this off.
Objection!
Agent Lang, do you understand the full implications of what you are saying? Of course I do, sis, and I'm serious. You were on the trail of the smuggling ring, and you just wanted any evidence you could find. And so, while people were distracted by the Atakarasu's appearance, you snuck in here. That's when you two ran into each other. You and that other thief who took advantage of the confusion from the fire.
Objection!
Even if all of that were true, how do you explain the movement of the weapon? Don't worry, I'm going to show you that you're the culprit behind that too. You had permission to investigate both embassies at will. That kind of free reign, you could have easily taken the weapons across country lines. Hey now. Look, sis, I thought I already told you, I'm not messing around here. This case isn't directly tied to the smuggling ring, but Shina certainly is tied to the smuggling ring. He's right in saying that she is a member of the smuggling ring. However, the connection between this case and the ring, could it not be deeper than what any of us can imagine? Gah. Let's get this ridiculous suckers over with already. Francisca, you need to calm down, because you only know the facts of the Alabastian side of the case. I don't believe you can see the case as a whole, and therefore solve it. What? Don't worry, I'm taking this seriously as well, and I will prove your innocence. That's the only way it can be, Mr. Prosecutor. But can you come up with anything else that can top my hypothesis? Of course, your explanation has to solve the mystery of the moving weapons as well. Of course, and I will. Let's now delve into the truth behind the murder of Damask II. You two understand, don't you, Miles Edgeworth? This isn't just a confrontation against Agent Lang. If you can't figure out how the murder of Damask II is related to the smuggling ring, then it will mean the end of our investigation. Because I have no good counter-argument to his hypothesis. And the best I can do is walk a thin tightrope and see what I can do. Come on, Mr. Prosecutor, let's get started. Yes, let's. One of the Alabaster's knives was used in Babel to murder Mr. Kochin. And the murder weapon in the building killing of Damask II is Babel's Primadel statue. Somehow, these two objects were able to penetrate the two countries' impenetrable security. The only one who traversed the two countries just before and after the crimes was you. As long as I can't explain how the weapons moved about, Francisca will remain a suspect. You got it, Mr. Prosecutor, so why don't you stop giving me a hard time? Under these circumstances, who the heck can carry a weapon across country lines? I've worked through every possibility, but there's only one that's plausible. Your boss. Agent Lang, what I learned from you just now is that you've lost sight of yourself. What are you talking about? By focusing too intently on which is in front of us, we become blind to the truth. Don't tell me Lang Ji never said anything to that effect. You prosecutor, who do you think you are speaking of Lang Ji's proverbs like that? I don't need these proverbs because my words will tell you all you need to see the truth. One of Alabaster's knives was used in Babel. Okay, so we just press everything.
Hold it!
I concur the knife crossed over country lines. Good, but that's not the only thing that did. You mustn't forget about the other weapon. The knife wasn't the only one. The murder in the killing of Damask II was Babel's Primadel statue.
Hold it!
So you're saying the Primadel statue was also brought over by Francisca. Like I told you before, it's the only way it makes sense.
Hold it!
Now exactly did she bring it over? I haven't figured that out yet. That's a rather weak statement, considering how sure you are. Maybe, but there's one thing I do know for sure. These two objects were able to penetrate the two countries' impenetrable security.
Hold it!
Impenetrable? I should hardly think so.
Not the back!
You've seen the top of the wall between the two countries, right? When the world will cross over that. Yeah, not even I could climb over that thing with all the barbed wire. The only way I ever see is through the doors in the Theatrum Neutralis. So the only way for the knife and the Primado statue to traverse the two countries is through those security camera-equipped, well-guarded doors. To arrest the two countries just before and after the crimes was you.
Hold it!
Was Franziska really the only person to have traveled between the two countries? According to the guards at both doors, she's the only one to go back and forth. The sis there was at Alabas when the Yanagarasu showed. And did it just before you guys found Mr. Coachen's body, she entered battle. I think we can assume that when she brought the knife into battle. And how do you explain the Primado statue? I haven't quite figured that out yet. However, the fact that the two weapons crossed the border proves that the killer must have also traveled across the country lines. I think to cross the border are the Primado statue and the knife. I should hardly think those are the only two related items, Agent Lang. Alabas knives is used. Alright, so let's see. Let's see what I have. I wonder if...
Objection!
Nope, that's not it.
Not so fast!
So I gotta think exactly what I need to present here. Alright, let's see. Things that cross the border are the Primado statue and the knife. Any of those are the only two items. So I have something that also traversed both sides. Could it be the wire?
Objection!
No, not the wire.
Not so fast!
Alright, what do I think here? Maybe I'm presenting at the wrong statement? Alright, let's think here, everybody. So we had to prove, so he's mentioning two different items. Let's try presenting the photo again. I think that's where we're at. I'm gonna try the photo here.
Objection!
No, apparently not. Maybe I'm just, it's gotta be the photo because it shows it going across. I think I'm doing it in the wrong spot. So let's try a couple more. Let's try that one right before it. Try the photo here.
Objection!
No, that's not it. Oh no, that's right. Okay, hold on. I figured it out. I am just being dumb. Give me a moment. So, the
Objection!
Primitive statue switch sides. Because this is not the right one. There we go. Maybe I got it up. The mask 2 was killed with Babo's primitive statue, yes? If that's the case, then tell me where did that last primitive statue go? To Babel. Precisely. And if the two statues really were switched, this means that both statues were smuggled across the border at some point. Which means that a total of 3 items were smuggled across the embassies. I guess so. But you know what? It doesn't matter the number of items, only that Sis is the only one who could have done it. Because the only person who went back and forth between Alabasta and Babel is her. Is that really true? Was there no one else who traveled between the two countries? Actually, there wasn't definitely another person. One who paid a visit to both sides of the war.
Objection!
Is that really so, Agent Ling? What a lousy time to try to bluff your way out of this. I checked out what the guard said along with the security camera's footage. You're not going to overturn my hypothesis that easy.
Objection!
I suppose there was some other way other than through the theater doors. What other way? See that managed to cross the border unharmed. They pointed out to open up a whole new possibility. Although I hesitate to bring this out, as long as this entity exists, the impossible road becomes a possibility. Looks like you've got some clever idea in mind. This is where I present the picture. I can show you through a single piece of evidence. Fine then. Let's see this piece of evidence that will show me this other route. I knew the picture had something to do with this, I just didn't know where to present it.
Take that!
Sure thing. I'm sure you were familiar with this unforgettable photo. A supernatural photo, like I said before. Humans can't fly. Not, of course not. I understand that perfectly well. And it would start claiming that She-Na somehow grew wings either. I wouldn't dream of claiming that. And I won't allow you to take back what you said either. I'll say it again. It's not humanly possible to fly through the air without wings. You'd best have a good explanation for this, Mr. Prosecutor. Can I prove who it was who flew through the air in this photo? Hey, not humanly possible. Eureka! Very well. You will have your explanation. Sounds like you have a good idea simmering inside that head of yours. Let's hear it. The face hidden within this photo's blurry trailed shadow is?
Take that!
It's the face behind the shadow. I said you'd better have a good explanation. Can't make heads or tails of what you're trying to say with that. Was I wrong? Come on, hurry up and show me what shadow it is flying through the air is. If you're not barking me, I would have gladly done so, actually. Do I have an option to save here? I do not. I presented the Babel one. Fuck it.
Take that!
Try one, try the other. Oh, fuck, yeah, there we go. Cool. I was fucking shot in the dark. I'm trying to, I need to save it. If I need to do. I can't be serious. Save real quick. I am getting real low on life here. I fucking shot in the dark that one, but we made it, so we'll work with it. Cool. Apparently I had to choose the right one. You can't be serious. Yatagarasu, or rather Kosto Yu, dressed as Agent She-Na, was inside Babel. She dressed the replica statue up in clothes and launched it through the air. Yeah, Mr. Prosecutor. You left out a very crucial bit in your explanation. I know I did. She launched it through the air? And how exactly did she do that? He's literally burying his face in me. He has a point. How exactly did it move through the air like that? If this remains unsolved, we won't be able to move any closer to the truth. Which reminds me, didn't he say this earlier? Hey, sis, I remember that just before Ambassador Alba went to give his speech. He called you into his office, right? Just before the murder, Francisco was called here, right into this very room. If that's the case, then that may be another avenue I could pursue. Agent Lang, in order for me to answer that question, I will need to hear testimony from Miss Von Karma. Oh, and what are you up to now, pretty boy? Earlier, you mentioned something of interest to me. You said that just before the murder occurred, Miss Von Karma had been in this room because Ambassador Alba had called for her. And for that reason alone, you believe her to be the killer. Yeah, I guess you did say something like that. In that case, I believe it is my duty to ask her what her side of the story is. You think a criminal would tell us the honest truth? How dare you! As I've said numerous times, there's absolutely no proof that I am the killer. Miles Edgeworth, don't tell me you suspect me too. I don't. However, I can't ignore the fact that you were in this room at one point in time, which is why I would like to hear about it from you. Francisca, I feel that I still don't have enough information. This is why your testimony is incredibly important to the outcome of this case. Alright. So, what would you like me to talk about? Please testify to your movements up until you came into this room. Alright, let's try this your way for a change. But if what she says to say turns out to be a waste of time, I'll place her under arrest faster than you can howl no! As you wish. As I said earlier, I was assigned to guard duty in the Alabastan Embassy. First, I saw the Seal Samurai off on his way towards the ambassador's office. I returned to the Rose Garden for a bit and checked upon the security situation. After all the preparations were in place, I was called back by Ambassador Alba to his office. Francisca, I want to make this clear from the very beginning. So what I wish to confirm is that the only time span in which you were in this office was before the murder occurred. Is that correct? Yes, of course. I see. The only way that I can see for us to break out of the situation is to ask Francisca about her testimony in more detail. Alright, we're going to go ahead and save here, and we're going to call it a night. I'm starting to get really tired. So we didn't quite meet the goal, looks like, for the Poppy's Playtime playthrough, but that's okay. We still had a good time, and I appreciate everyone stopping by and being here for my birthday. It really means a lot to me that I have so many people around me that really do care and provide for me, you know, some good times. So thank you guys for joining me. Let's see who's online that I'll send you guys off to. It's gonna be a tough time to Melty Matt, hello, how you doing? Welcome in. So let's see who is currently streaming. Oh, Kava's streaming. I'll send you guys over to Kava. Slash raid. Alright, I'll send you guys over to Kava. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. I appreciate everyone stopping by, and I will see you next stream. I don't know when that'll be. Probably Saturday. I'll probably take the next few days off. So, again, thank you for stopping by, and I'll see you then. Later.